Shalom, shalom. I'll turn it to the Most.
That's my baby, that's my baby, that's my baby. She's the righteous one, that's my baby, that's my baby. She's the righteous one, that's my baby, that's my baby, that's my baby. She's the only one, that's my baby, that's my baby, that's my baby. She's the righteous one, there's a price. He gave me life. I changed my life. Got a righteous one. She made me mad sometimes, but it's alright. I won't trade for nothing. No. She's somebody, fringes on the garment. I had to make that promise. She got my seat. It's not just me. We don't believe. She believe in life. I'm better thing. Is her I just wanna queen, baby, you my crown. So just hold me down. I'ma hold you down. Firm until the ground. We come from the ground, but you come from the floor. I can't get enough. I'm your chin. My better thing is a righteous woman. She been seeking for life. You're my wife. You belong to me. You're my baby. That's my baby. That's my baby. She's a righteous woman. That's my baby. She's a righteous woman. That's my baby. That's my baby. That's my baby. She's the only one. That's my baby. That's my baby. That's my baby. She's the righteous one. Real faith. We can be real faith. She's so sweet to me. Sweet like a cake. Got a lot to say. Remember the first day that I see your beauty. Beauty was in your face. We're loving. If I'm the thunder, she can be the lightning. Yeah, I'm a hubby, this one is my wife. I know it's awesome time, baby, keep fighting. We got a right to see coming back out. Cause anytime I'm down, baby, you keep me up. Demons stay around, so we stay and pray up. You but no slowing up. But I trust him in his way, he deliver our soul. Righteous woman, hard to find, she more precious than gold. Beauty with the love of God, keep my life looking froze. He chose you, he chose me, gave us both a gift. One was you, the other was me. Girl, you're my baby. That's my baby. That's my baby. She's a righteous one. That's my baby. That's my baby. Holy lady. She's a righteous one. That's my baby. That's my baby. That's my baby. She's a righteous one. That's my baby. That's my baby. That's my baby. She's a righteous one. Ooh, my, you. I pray for you, and you came to me. I pray for you, God sent you to me. That's my reason to be, baby. Stand strong, baby, coming soon. Thank you for all that you do for me. I just wanna, yeah, I can see, I believe.
Okay. I'll pray to the Lord. Anybody tuning in? This song was by my ops, Amina Run. A sincere brother, man, a solid brother. You know, him and his wife. You know what I mean? So I think it was only right with today's broadcasting to start it off with this song like that, you know what I mean, from a holy union. matrimony definitely since we got all the guests are special. You know what I mean? But this is one that I definitely uh been anticipating. You know what I mean? In this realm of things and this dynamic, this brother and sister here, Monte, as well as sister Amber, putting in work, man. You know what I'm saying? Definitely inspirational to me. You know what I mean? It's not just something, you know, where it's not felt. You know, when I see these two, I see the work. I see the work in the household. And in this case, what we want to do with this broadcasting family, Israel, I want to get the perspective of brothers and sisters who came into the fold, came into the truth, knowing that we are Hebrew, knowing that we are Israelites, but a married couple. There's so many brothers and sisters who scouting, you know, trans spirits, you know what I mean? Uh, going through courtships and different other things to find the brother trying to find the real trying to find the head, and then how all that works, you know what I mean, once their union is made moving forward. And what took place before then, you know what I'm saying? All right, so before we jump into it, all praises, glory, and honor goes to the Most High God,
That's
the
right.
creator of the heaven and earth, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Uh, much mercy, peace, and blessings be unto the chosen, the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Thank everybody who tuning in. Bless y'all for being willing vessels to come on tonight, you know, from your schedule.
Bless you.
So just right into it, y'all got anything y'all want to say before we get into it?
Uh, I'll praise to the Most High. Thank you for your words. They meant a lot, but all praise be to the Most High. That was our whole vision. The whole motivation was when we stepped out of our comfort zone, being in the house, talking and teaching to one another, studying with one another, was to bring light that this could be done. And Matthew 5:16 said, "Let your light shine, so His Father, our Father, can be glorified in heaven." So all praise to the Most High. Thank you for having us.
Come. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, can you hear us?
You kind of low now.
Uh,
You want me to unplug it?
See,
you
I know I just got a call. Anybody? Hey, I see with my op. If you see this, we live right now.
I like it.
Um,
can you hear us? Can you hear us now?
man, it's kind of low.
It's
It's
Well,
kind of low.
you think so? Let me
yeah.
see. Hold on.
See what can we do here?
What about now?
Nope.
Mm, hold on.
Family, can y'all hear them good? Can y'all hear good? Somebody comment. Let us know how it's sounding.
Out the case real quick.
You think that's what it is?
Yeah. Make sure.
You think we should? Hold on. Hold on. We're gonna try to take
Let's see, King. It could have been because I just got. Okay, Homie Bro said now low on his end. He just got the call and it changed the volume.
What about now?
B said it'll work. Okay. Man, we need to hear this though.
You
There we
need
go.
to. You need to talk very loud.
Okay, Judah the Lion said yes, sir. So it sounded good. All good, Cat the Garner. Pretty
You,
much for the majority, everything sounded good. Let me check something. Look, go try to click on your mic and see if you can make an adjustment.
all right. Let me see. Camera,
Let's
mic,
see.
audio. Echo cancellation.
You just
Invoice
got to make the
20.
adjustment.
That's how we
You
do it.
try something else too.
Go
Let's
back.
see something. Right in there. You see. Okay, they went out. So, family, they probably gonna come back in. The water. Thank you. Told out for those of you there for them. King, I'm on the phone. So I'm low. I'm low. B. Am I low? B. B. Lewis. Am I low? Am I? Okay, Captain Garner, the water. Thank you, sir. Okay. Okay, so it was them. All right, so they should be coming back into the studio room shortly. Don't come through the line. Bless you. I miss you, King. I praise Elohim every day. The water, thank you. Y'all bear with us. Anna Hodiah Israel, bless you. Rose tells us that he checking in through both accounts. All praise to the Most High. All right, we got him back, family. Let's see what we sound like.
All right.
Tell him okay.
Can you hear me now?
Not me. I cannot. Salakia.
Yeah.
What you talking about this?
What about now?
Nope. Let me see.
Let me come closer. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you slightly.
Dang, yeah, it might
Brandon
be.
says. Brandon say. The audience can. Okay, so and that's what I'm concerned with. If I have to strain to hear you, it's cool. But as long as they get the word. Your side. Hey man, Shalom, huh? Okay. All right, so was it anything that y'all wanted to share with us or say before we jump into y'all's journey?
Good. Well, nah, I said it at the beginning, but nah, that's about it. What about if you put the headphones in?
Let me try one more thing. Sorry, y'all. I'm gonna try one more thing. Maybe
right.
if I get my head. Okay, that's what I'm finna do now. Let's see. These are here. Let's see. Say something.
Can you hear me?
Con. We
Praise
in the dough. We in the dough, family. All right. So look, the uncle said he had nothing to say. The sister didn't have anything. So, all right. The first question gonna be, how long have y'all been in the truth?
3 years, 3 years, going on some months.
Going on 4. It'll be 4 next year.
Yeah.
Early next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Middle
And this
for me.
and this for the both of y'all?
No, I count mine in the middle, so it'll be more like during the 6th month of the Gregorian
calendar 2020.
Yeah.
So we probably 3.5 years in.
Okay.
We kind of came in at the same time.
I said so.
All the way.
But I think you count your accountant.
Right. Yeah.
Con, all praises. All right, so I want to know, families, y'all know if y'all been keeping up. The purpose of the broadcasting about my journey into the truth, or your journey, or our journeys into the truth, is that the Most High put it on my spirit that every soul wouldn't come into the fold, which that's the goal when we teach, through brothers teaching over YouTube, people prophesying to the wind on the corners and the highways and the hedges, through the music, but in other ways, people will come in by means of hearing our testimonies, our stories. And some people say, I'm too filthy to come to the Most High. I'm too unclean. He wouldn't accept me. All right, but once they hear our stories and it becomes relatable, then they understand, man, the Most High can take any man, any woman, even children, from wherever you came from and bring you into his marvelous light. And that's the goal. All right, so Ken, what talk to me about your past? What was your upbringing? What was the environment? You know what I mean? How was you nurtured?
All right, so with mine, I came into the world like every other man, and I was a product of sin. You know, it seemed like my parents, you know, from what I can remember, you know, as a child or baby, seemed like they was together, you know, but you know, they wasn't really together, I guess. And it came to a point where they was, you know, they separated or whatever. So, but I don't come from a line of like me and my dad ain't cool. My dad wasn't there. I always seen my dad. He was a phone call away. My mom was cool. He remarried. She got, or he married. She got married. All things was cool. It was never a point. I never had that problem with, oh yeah, I don't know my dad or my. I was jealous over the other children he, you know, nurtured or brought up. Nothing like that. My parents actually both are from West Africa, from Liberia, and they never met in Africa. They actually met in Missouri. So my mom left West Africa. She went to California, then made it her way to Missouri. Um, my dad left West Africa, made his way to New York, and then made his way to Missouri. They met. Boom, I came out.
Man, ain't that something?
He,
She didn't came from the West Coast. He came from the East Coast. God dog, and met in Missouri. Okay, Ken, go ahead.
yes, sir. So then, let me see. So as I'm coming up, of course, unclean foods are introduced. They're consumed. I got no, you know, nobody really knows any different. But since I can remember, all of my family relatives was all dealing in Christianity. So I was introduced to Christianity, knew God from I can remember, or knew that there was a God, the creator of the heavens and the earth. My grandparents used to take me to vocational Bible school. I mean, I was all in it. You know what I mean? And they used to tell my grandma that I was really good at it. My other cousin that was with me was really good, or we excelled. So we would do that, Sunday worship. But like I said, my family is African, so they would cook a lot of African dishes, and they would put lots of meat in it. Of course, it included pigs, which at the time I loved it. You know what I mean? I didn't know there was anything wrong with specific
Come
food. So I was consuming it. I grew up on it, raised on it, you know, and then of course I had American foods to eat, but I had two worlds. You know, I had the African side, and I also had where I was from, you know, or captive at America, right? Um, what else? So then, at first, so like I said, my parents split. So it was just me in a single parent home, my mom, of course. We was living in what you call, I guess, the quote unquote hood or projects. Eventually, she meets my stepdad. Uh, and my stepdad, we was always cool. He was like my best friend. Like we was really cool. I never had that problem. He didn't treat me like a stepchild. None of that. You know what I
on,
mean?
all praises.
All praise to the Most High. And it was like he had actually like two daughters before he met my mom. And you know, some may say that you know they may have felt like jealous or covetous based off the way he was treating me. Like that's how good everything was that. You know what I mean? Like that. So anyway, so we continue to, life continues to go on. And I get to a point, I'm starting becoming an adolescent where I'm staying at home alone. So now I'm just going into just a journey. I'm staying home alone, of course. I know my parents' schedule. My stepdad used to work 2 weeks days, 2 weeks nights. And he used to post his schedule right on the refrigerator. He used to work 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. or be 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So I knew exactly when he'll be home, exactly when he'd be same thing.
All right. What
Same
you
thing.
did, Monte?
Hey, I'm getting So same thing with mom. She worked Monday through Friday. And I knew she'd be home at like 3, 4 o'clock, right? So one thing I started dabbling is he used to have Absolute vodka in like a little glass container. So I used to go into it, take a little bit, and the point where he wouldn't notice. Maybe he did notice, maybe he didn't say anything, but that's one thing I used to do. Then it led to, as I continued to get older, it led to me sneaking females in the house. Of course, sneaking them in the house, it led to fornication. Okay. And I remember at one point in life, my stepdad told me, he said, hey, if you're going to, basically we was talking about sex pretty much. And he's like, something along the lines like, just make sure you wrap it up. Use a condom. So I'm like, okay, cool. So right here at this point, he's not like, and nobody else is like, here's the judgment for fornicators.
Mm.
Said the never heard.
Mm-hmm.
So then my dad, my real dad, like I said, I used to talk to him, see him, go over there on the weekends, all that. He would say things like, "Don't ever lie to me," but he never was like Revelation 21:8. All liars burn in the fire and brimstone.
Hey,
So
let's bring it out.
right. So of course
Mm-hmm.
I became a adulterer, or not adulterer. I became a fornicator.
Adultery against the Most High.
Yeah, adultery against Most High. A
Come on.
fornicator and a liar. Like,
Mm.
what you mean? I
Damn.
lie to anybody, lie about anything, as long as it
Damn.
don't hurt somebody's feelings or it gets me out of whatever trouble I'm about to be in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um. So of course we also will celebrate the Pagan Days.
Come.
And as I was thinking about this last night or this morning, I don't really know which one it was. Thinking about like at the Pagan Days, there's a lot of actual debauchery that happens during these Pagan Days, because during the Pagan Days, from my side on as a child, adolescent, me and my cousin or cousins, we would go into, sneak into the wine cool or sneak into the what do you call it, the coolers, different refrigerators, and we be sneaking wine coolers, and we going back to the room, we drinking them, getting what we thought was drunk. Maybe we was tipsy, or maybe we really was drunk, but we do,
Mm-hmm.
and the parents have no idea what's going on,
Mm.
no idea at all that we even did that. Then, and I'm in middle school, we operating, parents are dropping, we're having parties. I'm participating in the fleshly act of revelings, where we're going to parties, disturbing the peace. We
Mm-hmm.
down there with people dancing inappropriately. I mean, I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking middle school, I'm talking lap dances. I'm talking
Mm.
about people, dudes under girls' skirts and shirts, all this. And the parents right upstairs.
Man,
Not,
God dog.
right, not necessarily my parent. They wasn't having that, but they'll let me go to the parties with other people's parents. You know what I'm saying? So we're doing all this.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on. And I took notes, bro, so I could be right on
Come,
track.
come, hey, we want all of it.
Yes, sir.
What it
So
say? Prepare the word, and you will be heard. I'm paraphrasing.
yeah, yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So then, so like I said, I was aware of my parents' schedule, so I'm sneaking around, and I also want to highlight that you know what I mean, as we're adults or we have children or we get children, we have to be cognizant of the fact that if we was doing it as children, they can get into it too, with the sneaking the
Man,
alcohol, sneaking around,
come.
sneaking people in the house, like bro,
Mm.
it was really easy. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
we have to be cognizant of the fact and keep an eye. So with that, it also came with things like when I would play my cousins or my stepsisters or sisters or whatever, we would play what they call house. Now, if nobody know what house is, you got a
Mm-hmm.
mommy, you got a daddy. And
Mm-hmm.
somehow mommy and daddy always end up dry humping or doing some acts that you're not supposed to do, because the script say don't uncover your kin. Now we know that's really sexual.
Come, come,
Still, a cousin ain't supposed to be, dry humping their cousin or
come.
sister and brother.
Let me
So
let me let me let me cut in just 1 second.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, see that all praise to the Most High. Now, this is what I be talking about, family. You know what I mean? How King just brought that out. This the raw. You know what I'm saying? This the raw that I'm talking about. We should be sharing and looking for. To make these things happening for real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But some people, we come into the fold in the truth, or even in the time past, some of us who had that background to be in the Sunday church or whatnot, we kind of come like everything was just, what I mean, sweet, perfect, right. It was no problems, no darkness. No,
Yeah.
no, we got history. So
Mm-hmm.
come, thank you, Kim, but go ahead, Doc.
Yes, sir. So yeah, I'll praise the most. I'm glad he even put that on my spirit. So then moving forward, I get a job. So then once I got a job and I started getting a check, money became my number one item. Right?
Mm,
We want
mm-hmm,
focus. It was my motivation behind everything at this point. On the first job I got, I was introduced to porn by a
mm,
coworker. Coworker brings some actual DVDs I could just pop in and watch them. Of course, my mom and dad's room's right over. I mean, probably some steps away. They would never even know I had these videos. I'm watching them, right?
mm,
But before this, prior to this, I would see sexual activities through music videos. I would see activity through movies, TV shows, and this would paint an imagination in my mind, right? So I don't really remember if I seen porn first or if I fornicated first, but they're around the same time. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So then, let me see. They did all this. What? All right. So anyway, so going on, I'm in high school now, right? So I'm going through school, flying through school, doing all the sins in school, flirting, sneaking out of class, doing all the things you do with girls and all that, right? Lying, all the regular childish sins that are bound up in a child's heart. But
regular,
right, you know what I mean? So I'm flying through. Matter of fact, I graduated high school early, a semester early. I got all my credits. I was never a bookworm. I was never like super duper smart, but I just knew that I could just do the work or have somebody else do the work for me or whatever the case may be. But I could, figure out how to pass. I didn't study for the most part. High school is just high school, I guess. And we see what the educational system gets us anyway. So maybe it really wasn't even anything. But anyway, I graduate early. So, of course, sin starts to increase. I'm getting older. I'm more free. I'm perfecting my craft of all my sins, whether it be rather it be lying, rather it be working. At one point I had I think 5 jobs and was taking college courses, was going to a university. And I had this one job. Where I would get up at 5 in the morning and I would work from 6 to 9 a.m. Then I would leave that job at 9 a.m., go to the mall, worked at the mall, work from there from 9 to 3 o'clock. And that job was hours plus commission. I would leave that job at 3, hang out, do debauchery from 3 to 5. Go to that job from 5 to I think 7 o'clock. Yeah. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I had actual college school. So doing that, had an overnight job. I was working actually for the Chiefs Stadium. That was the other job. It was only Sundays and Mondays for school. So I'm doing that, you know what I mean? They're perfecting my craft, right? The Most High said what? They're good at doing evil, but my ways they don't know, right?
Done.
All right, so then let me skip down, make sure I know where I'm at.
Man, King going in.
All right, so then so I'm heavy in idolatry of myself, heavy in idolatry of sports players, entertainers. I'm talking we will have me and other young males would have long drawn out debates about who's the best rapper, who's the best basketball player. At this time, jerseys was in style. Rather it be middle school or high school, jerseys was in style. So everybody wanted to wear jerseys, throwbacks. You wear them backwards, frontwards, whatever. If you had a jersey, you was the man. If you had a jersey nobody else had, you was really the man. So then we get to a point in life where jerseys get retired. It's not cool anymore. We start wearing tall tees, stuff like that. So before this, I used to have posters on my wall of different basketball players, different entertainers. Now, where I find a problem is the Most High said what's supposed to be on the wall is the scripts. But on my wall, I had idols. You feel me? Man. And I think about the Ezekiel passage a lot, where he talks about Ezekiel goes into this hidden place or this place that was concealed from the public, and he goes in and he sees all the idols of Israel on the wall, and the Most High pissed. Same thing. Then once that got old, and like I said, I stopped wearing jerseys. I took the posters down and put the jerseys on the wall. Now we know one thing about the jerseys is there's another man's name on the back. You know what I mean? So I'm putting them on the wall, right? But I was heavy in idolatry of myself and of these other sports players and entertainers and all that. So then fornication increased, of course. I'm getting older. So lies increase, idolatry increase. Then we get to a point in the phase of the path where I start putting tattoos on my body. Why? Because my entertainers my idols had them. They look cool,
Mm.
you know. Um,
Mm.
you know, and with the beast system, it starts with the idols, but then your community
Mm-hmm.
around you, they do it too. So when they do it
Mm-hmm.
too, it just what I want to say, adds fuel to the fire to make you want to do. You want to follow the
Yep.
multitude to do evil, as the script
Yep.
say, don't.
Come.
Right? So I
Come.
start putting tattoos on my body, all over my arms, all that type of stuff. Right? So now I'm in that sin. But again, nobody came and said, "Hey, son," or "Hey, um, the Most High said, don't put tattoos on your body." No,
Right.
nobody said that. So I didn't think nothing was wrong with it. I'm just going along.
Mm-hmm.
Then fast forward, my stepdad dies.
Oh
So
man.
yeah, and like I said, we
Right when you graduated.
yeah, right when I graduated
Mm.
high school.
High
Um,
school. God dog. Okay.
yeah. And one thing he used to always say to me is, or not always say, but he used to say a lot, was, "I'm only here to see to get you through school, or wait until you graduate," or something like that. And then boom, he died. So this how it happened, or this what I remember. One day we used to have a basketball court. So by the way, my stepdad came in, my mom and my dad, they increased in the earth. So when they increased in the earth, we was able to move into a home, get out the projects, all this.
Mm-hmm.
We actually had a basketball goal in our driveway. All the
Mm.
neighborhood friends used to come through. Basketball used to be my thing. And then when I got money, that became my thing, but basketball was my thing first. And
Okay.
so me and my stepdad and the rest of the young adults, we're outside playing. Everything just fine, no problem. He breathing healthy. I would have thought he was normal. Like either the next week he had work, and he felt some type of pain in his chest. I don't know if it was on the left
Mm.
side, right side. I don't really remember. But all I know
Mm.
is he went a few miles down the street to the hospital. So I pull up. The whole family, most of the family pull up. We chilling with him. Everything good, no problem. The lady sitting there, the nurse, I guess, asking him bunches of questions. Questions
Mm.
like, you allergic to this, that, and the other. He talking just fine. I don't see no red flags. So fast forward, my mom's like, I'm gonna stay here tonight. You and your little brother go home because they had a child together. So y'all go home. So me, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm home alone all night. I'm calling Shorty over, right?
Mm. Come.
I go home. My little brother upstairs, I think he's asleep. I'm playing the video game downstairs, talking to her, waiting for her parents to go to sleep. So of course I could sneak her over, right?
Mm.
That's another thing, family. Be cognizant of that. Um, so I'm playing the game, and all of a sudden I get a phone call. I answer it, and I just hear crying. I'm like, "What's going on?" So they hang up. I call back, and my mom, I think it was my auntie. She was like, "Your dad died." My mom in the
Oh
background
man.
crying, wilding out.
Mm.
I didn't know really how to receive it. Okay,
Man.
so it start kind of. I don't even know if it really hit later or not. Honestly, when I really look
Mm.
back on it, and how because what I did with his death is, after we got through the funeral and all that, I started using his death as a crutch the whole way since the day
Mm.
up until I found the truth. I used his death as a crutch to manipulate situations. If I acted out, because with his death came wrath
Man.
inside
Mm.
of me. It came hatred. It came, I don't know, all kind of different things came in. But so if
Come.
I would act out in wrath or hatred, I would manipulate it where you should accept how I'm behaving because my dad died. You know nothing about this. You
Mm.
understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
I don't know if I start using that to put myself in a better position or to get what I want. But I felt like it hurt, you know what I mean, at times. And it was times I would just cry, of course, and sorrow and grieve and all that type of stuff. And before his death, I knew death. You know what I mean? I had two grandpas die. I've been to funerals. I hated
Mm-hmm.
funerals. It was a
Mm-hmm.
custom thing. It was nothing new. But when his death came, it was a big turning point in my life.
And how long was he around now?
Till I was about almost 19.
From what
So
you
there
So
was like a
So maybe from like, I don't really know the young age, but I mean I was young. And when I first
come.
seen him, I remember I thought he was so cool because he had a motorcycle, he had a coupe, he was just cool, he was fly, he was that dude, I
Come.
guess. And
Come.
even the way how him and my mama met, we was in the car on the highway.
Mm.
This dude, he in the motorcycle and he trying to flag my mom down. Hear my mom saying, "Who is this trying to flag me down? Who is this trying to flag me down?" I'm like, "Mama, just stop. Let's see." But I know I'm small. And she stopped. And he come to the car, take his helmet off, and he talked to her, got her number, and then they went on from there. But he was just so cool with me, like we just clicked. You know what I mean?
Come on out.
You know what I mean? And
Indeed.
it was never a separation or any type of what I want to say, emulation between him and my biological dad. They they respected each other. And neither one of them came between each other. You know what I mean? So I praise the Most High for that because, it could go either way with that.
Come on, okay.
All right. So like I said, I carried that death all the way to the truth. So that was 2009. The truth landed in my lap 2017.
2017. Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. So going on, college happened. Eventually, I dropped out, but I was going to a university. Then I started going to community college because, like I said, I was never a bookworm. I never really wanted to study. I was too into trying to either get money or hang out. And in college, it kind of didn't work that way. But college came with more parties, more reveling, more drunk nights, more sin, straight up. So then, so my dad's gone at this. My stepdad's gone at this point, and then I had my brother that came from the relationship of my biological dad and my stepmom, which we was always cool too. Me and my stepmom, we clicked. Okay. And I had a big brother, and we was like cool. We was working together. We was supposed to get matching tattoos together. And I was telling I guess he overheard the wrong conversation, and he called me a snake. And I'm like, what? So I got mad. Like I said, rap came. There was no reasoning with Monte at this point. So it didn't matter if I took something wrong or not. So we kind of into it. We beefing. I'm like trying to fight. I'm like, pull up, But he was more, once he wasn't, I guess, under the influence, he was more rational. Like, I'm not about to fight my little brother. So anyways, at this point, I cross over into weed. I started doing marijuana. Okay. And before this, I used to say I don't smoke because I'm an athlete. Well, at this point, the going to the NBA dream is down the pipeline. That ain't happening. I ain't playing for no school. This ain't happening. So, whatever. I'm sad on life or whatever you want to call it, depressed. Let's just, I got this coworker that act like weed is is everything. So I'm gonna pull up on my coworker, and he loaded up the bong. We hit the bong. I ain't really feel nothing. I ain't feel no different. But anyhow, I continued to indulge in this weed, and weed became a big part of my life.
Okay, I got a question, huh?
Yes.
So during all this, right?
Yeah.
Did you have like any unctions, any taps like, hey, Monte, you need to slow down? You know what I mean? You doing too much, bro. Did you have any of those type of situations at all?
No, it was like put on the pedal, go faster.
Man, no gas, no brakes, God dog it.
No,
I'm with you. I'll keep going.
All right. So I started indulging in weed. It got to a point where I couldn't do anything unless I smoked first. Work, I got to smoke first. Break, I got to smoke. Fornication, I got to smoke. Play basketball, I got to smoke. Anything, go to anything, I smoke. I used to love to hotbox or smoke in the car. With windows up in Missouri, a lot of times it would get cloudy. And it used to remind me of what I seen on TV called, as far as London goes. And I guess I was listening to Rick Ross too, and he had this album about London, so I don't know. But anyway, so if it was rainy and cloudy, bro, that was my favorite time to smoke in the coupe and just be high. Yeah, that's it. And I'm blasting all the music. Like I said, I'm heavy into music. Heavy music was also a big part of my life. So I'm talking the Lil Waynes, the Yo Gotti, Rick Ross, Drake, all them, bro. Anybody that was somebody around that time, I was on them. And I literally had so much music. I had songs for every mood. If I had a girl in the car and I wanted her to feel a certain way, we about to go to the house, put on Trey songs. put on dress. I knew exactly where to go to push buttons. If I wanted to feel sad or cry over my dad, I had songs for that. If I wanted to get high out this world, I had songs for that. Wiz Khalifa, Wayne, all that, right? So this became my life.
So like it.
Go
So
ahead.
like yeah. So what position you were running in basketball?
Point, shooting guard, all that. I can even go in
Okay.
the center sometimes if the dudes were smaller.
Okay. I might have to see you on that court out.
Uh, yes,
Go
sir.
ahead, okay.
Yes, sir. All right. So let me see where I'm at now. So I'm talking about okay. So weed also. So like I said, I always kind of kept a little job. So I got to a point where like the other nation, those are the other nation, would ask me or inquire about weed. So what I do, I start selling them weed. But this is how I did it though. So let me give you a little breakdown first. I don't know if it's the same everywhere, but in Missouri, the way we looked at it, or the community or the jurisdiction I was at, this is how they looked at it. There was 3 levels of weed. You got the Reggie. With Reggie, that would be called low grade weed, and it will come with a bag full of seeds and the nugs. Everybody know that's Reggie. You can get that for about $5 a gram. Then when it came to K or mid grade, you would get little to no seeds, and people would qualify that or look at that as K or mid grade, and you could get that for maybe 10, 15 a gram. Then we had the high level, the premium grade, which was called Kush, right? And it would have an earthly smell, stank the most, and there's no seeds. So somehow I was getting Kush for K prices, right? So what I would do is the dude asked me, "Hey, can I get an 8 or 3.5 grams?" Right? I'm like, "Yeah, $60," but I'm getting it for 30. But I'm just giving it to him for 60. So right there, what am I doing? Lying one to another, deceiving, doing all
Yep.
this. You know what I mean? So of course that's sin, but that's what I was doing. But I was never no type of like big time drug dealer, especially at this point. I wasn't in no trap house. I wasn't cutting no coke, touching bricks, none of that. I had petty stuff going on like that, just so I could buy some more weed. Because I always kept a job, and the job led me to where I needed to go. All right. Okay. So now moving on. Now let me see.
All praises. All praise. You got 2 of them said they got delivered from their weed, their weed addiction and spirit, man. All praise to the Most High for that.
Hey, I'll praise
Come.
the Most High. So then also I was in a relationship, what someone would call a serious relationship, but I was always cheating. So cheating happened. I was involved with women that would cheat on their spouses or their baby fathers and baby daddies or whatever you want to call it. And based off of the music I was listening to and the way I was being programmed through the music, I would get high off of that. I would feel like, you mess with somebody else's girl, she messing with you, you the man at this point.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Not knowing though,
Yep.
the Most High said they ain't the way to go. You know what I mean? Every girl, I was a typical dude. Every girl that would walk past, I had to see. I want to see, they dress lascivious, they got their breast out. I want to see. I'm staring. There's no constraint at all because nobody's telling me it's wrong. I heard Christ say, don't look at another woman, you commit adultery. But I'm like, yeah, all right. Like, how can we do that? You know what I mean? With no understanding of the actual Bible. So this is the closest thing I know that you ain't supposed to be staring at a woman, but yet I'm still staring at a woman. That wasn't enough. There was no judgment yet. There was no understanding what he really meant or understanding I ain't supposed to operate this way. So I'm doing it, right? What else? So let me see. And I'm just going up until the point I meet her. But pretty much another thing about me is I was never really a gang type of person. So I didn't really kick it with dudes that much unless we was playing basketball. We was going to a club or a party together, playing video games together, but I wasn't one of those dudes that just set up under other guys. For the most part, my free time was spent with females. You know what I mean? Somehow doing some debauchery with a female or something like that. I was mainly I was a loner. So I could play basketball for hours by myself. When I was a child, I used to play with my toys because I had no brothers in my house at the time. Play with my toys by myself, and you can ask my mom; she'll tell you like you would have thought that there was somebody else in the room with me.
Man.
I would talk to myself a lot. You know what I mean? Like have conversations with myself. Like, let's play the game. Okay, like that.
Come on, huh?
And then, you know what I mean? I could play video games by myself. I just was a loner, so I kind of always been that type of way. But because one thing my dad used to say, my biological dad, he still say it. Matter of fact, is that I was born alone. I'm gonna die alone. I would never let somebody else get me in trouble. If I'm gonna get in trouble, I'm gonna get in trouble on my own. So I kind of started embodying that spirit because I thought that was cool. I'm like, yeah, I feel that way too, Dad. Yeah, and you know, and then I start rocking. So sometimes I'll get into arguments, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna die alone anyway. I came into this world by myself. I'm gonna die alone. I would use that as a spiteful tool or a vengeful word to use. You know what I mean? So other things. So you said it was if there was any slowdown points. It wasn't really a slowdown point, but I had a lot of near-death experiences. But when I really think about it, I think every day is a near-death experience because you can walk outside. I mean, Job's family was in the house, and the house caved in. So to me, every day is a near-death experience. But I had some like in Missouri. It snows a lot. I know it snows in Memphis too, huh? So it snows. It snows in the winter. It sleets. It hails. They got this thing called black ice where you're driving, you don't even know it's ice, and skirt. Next thing you know, and one day I'm on the highway driving home from work. I'm in a coupe, of course, and I'm driving on the highway, and I'm driving, just going real slow, and the car just starts spinning. God, no. Like I have no control, none. Next thing you know, I see the wall, like I'm about to hit the wall. You know what I mean? Most High stopped it right there, but I look to the right. I look to the right, and here comes an 18-wheeler. I know he can't stop. God, dog. Man, somehow the Most High sent some angel to pull me up out of there, got out the way right in the nick of time.
Sent some angel.
Right. So I'm cool. Another time, I'm driving. I'm at work. I was going door to door at this time. This is a door to door job, but I'm in traffic, and we had to brake really quick. We're on the street. We had to brake hard. Skirt. And next thing you know, car running to me in the back. Boom! Hit my car. And so I wouldn't hit the car in front of me. I swerved to the left. Praise the Most High. No other car was coming. But I didn't really feel anything besides hatred because you just messed up my car. So I didn't care nothing about my life because at this point, I'm at a point in life where I'm invincible. You know what I mean? I got to the point I can't feel my face. I'm spiritually drunk, physically drunk. I'm physically high. I'm in total sin. I'm invincible at this point. I had all things lead up to build me up to think I'm somebody. I'm something I'm not. And like Paul,
you Pharaoh,
huh?
You Pharaoh out there.
Yeah, exactly. Paul said, if a man think he's something, let him sit down because if you think he's something he's not, he deceive himself. But I thought I was based off of the females I done messed with, based off of these compliments and all the sin that done lifted me up. So I feel invincible, you know what I mean? And I'm pissed that you just wrecked into my vehicle. I'm caring more about the material thing than my own life.
Man.
But when I look back on it, like, bro, you really could have died. You know what I mean? It could have went any way. Other times I had a gun, what seemed to be a gun pulled on me. I had baby daddy's threats over Twitter. Stuff like that, like really like real, I guess what you would call hood dudes or shooters that were like, yeah, they're gonna kill me and they see me. Praise the Most High, he kept me in, in the shadows. Because at any point, if any of these things would have prospered or I would have died, or I wouldn't be sitting here right now, I'd be literally in flames, tormented.
Man, thank you, Father.
Man,
thank you, Father.
So that type of stuff, it motivates me, you know what I mean, to go and do what's right when nobody's looking. You know what I'm saying? Because the Father, I ain't trying to please men like I used to. So praise the Most High for that. So moving on. Now we get one night I'm going to the club. I'm going to clubs. You know what I mean?
Okay, come on.
And, the buddy I'm about to go with, you know what I mean? He like, pull up at this spot, pick him up from here. So I pull up to the spot, and well, you know, I see this light right there, right? So I pull up. It's her
Cut up.
spot. It's her spot. But guess what? She got a baby daddy, and he did.
Ah. Ah.
He kicking it with the buddy I'm supposed to go with, and I think at this point I already knew her baby daddy. I knew, you know, my buddy, of course. And I pull up, I see her, you know, I'm checking her out, of course. And I'm seeing like they having different activities going on. We pretty much supposed to be pre-gaming, but she punching her baby daddy in the chest, like he like punched me in the chest or something like that. And she punching him, and she punching my buddy, and and she telling them they got to smoke outside. I'm like, I'm sitting back observing this. Now I done recorded some of it.
Good.
I'm the type of guy too, by the way. I like to record stuff, but I'm sitting back. She like, y'all got to smoke outside. She running things. At the time, I'm thinking it's her baby dad's house. Like, bro, if that was me, there's no girl telling me I got to smoke outside. But I say that to say that obviously we know the book say the women will be over the men, controlling the men.
Encompass the man.
Exactly. And we sit and they sitting back letting her do the stuff. Now, I'm just prideful. It had nothing to do with the Bible at this point, but I'm looking back on it, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Look at the curses jumping off the page. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go now also when it comes to her, so I seen this the first time I ever laid eyes on her, right? So then me and Buddy leave, we go to the club, we do our thing, sin, right? Then far as she goes, I had some other encounters with her. I see her on social media. And I remember she had this one post and you know, she was looking right. And I remember I posted on there, I commented, I said, whoa. And she said, whoa, what? Or something like that. And I'm like, oh, I'm just looking. Something like that. And she like, something, I don't know what she said after that. But what puffed me up some more, other people was commenting. She said nothing to them. But to me, she made special inquisitions. I'm like, hey, you know what I'm saying? So then I see her, you know, I just see her on, you know, on Instagram here and there. You know what I mean? I'm doing my own thing. You know what I mean? And then I was working at this retail shop. I was in training, and she pulled up one day, not just random. She pulled up to the shop with her and her baby dad and her brother, and I'm like, I see him. I'm just checking them out. I don't really remember what I really was thinking. We seen each other. We kind of said hi. You know, I said what's up to all of them. Don't really remember if I was thinking too much, but whatever. So I seen her then, and then hold on. Is there another time? Oh, there's another time. I seen her on Instagram, and she was working at a retail shop I used to work at. And I'm like, oh, I know them or something like that. And she's like, yeah, they know you too, Nimmo. And I'm like, yeah, see, I'm special out here. I'm the man I get responded to. I'm everything. I'm like, how you even, like the fact that you even know my name like that. You know what I mean? You trying to act like we talk, and we don't even talk. I don't even know you. Yeah, all the way. You know what I mean? But just the fact that you even knew my name that people would call me in the community, like that was something. So another time I posted a picture. I'm driving, and in the windshield, you know how like what is that? The side mirror. I took a picture of the side mirror, and in the side mirror was a Porsche that was behind me, a yellow one. And I said something like, "That's the next move," or something like that. And she commented on it and was like, "That's a nice picture." So that's pretty much how we kind of got to where I first met her. So what I'm gonna do now is let her go ahead and talk about her childhood all the way up until we met, and then we'll continue on from there with our life together. That makes sense?
Come on.
That way it kind of paints a clear path, and you have a view. I mean, her upbringing totally different, but you have a view of what I seen when I went to her apartment, what she felt when she was at the apartment, and so on and so forth. Make sense? I'll praise the Most High. Go ahead.
I'll praise him.
Praise the Most High. Bless you. Okay. Well, praise the Most High. I don't know what it's.
I just dropped one.
Okay.
Man.
He has a completely different upbringing. I tell him this all the time too. Like, you know, I'm more Americanized than him. His family was more they really sound African too. They don't talk like us, you know. So with my upbringing, I'm the only girl of two boys, and my dad, my biological dad, was like a big time, like you call drug lord. Okay, he was in prison my whole life until I was like middle school. So my childhood, I talked to him a lot. He always be correcting me like, it's not jail, Amber, it's prison. He was in prison. You know, on prison phone calls, the little lady interrupting us and stuff. And so my mom, before I was born, she was how can I explain it? She was raised in like a family, like Christianity, you know, like my papa, she had a dad, she had a mom, she had sisters, brothers, what you would call like the American way, you know, with the Christian, go to church, go to Bible, all that good stuff. And my little brother, his dad was her first love, her first boyfriend. Apparently he broke her heart. And my dad pulled up in the same car that Monte actually has now, Corvette. But it was like an older one, you know, years ago. I don't know what year, 90s, 80, whatever. He bossed him, you know. And it was just like a different life for her because my mom wasn't used to like drugs. Now, she might have been hood, okay? But drugs, that's a whole different thing. My dad was into a lot of stuff, okay? Anyway, he got her, pulled her. I don't know, they had a rough life together. Apparently it was you know, it was domestic violence really bad with my dad and my mom. And my mom like was scared of him basically because they done had shootouts together. She was in a lot of stuff with him. So she had my older brother first. And my older brother was by my dad. And then it was like an accident that she got pregnant with me because she was like on some really trying to get away from my dad. But my dad was on some, no, you're stuck with me. You know what I mean? Like only way out is death. So yeah, that was years ago though. But yeah. So my mom told me that my dad took the only good thing that he did, this was her words, one of the best things he did for her was basically took the rap for her. Because she said when the FBI was investigating them, they had books like this tall, you feel me? Like pictures following them around, like proof. But my dad knew like I was coming or I was on the way or I was maybe a newborn, something like that. I don't know exactly the year. I know it was like 90. I was born in 91. So like her whole pregnancy with me was stressful. And so me coming into the world, she almost lost me because of all the abuse, like the mental trauma, everything she went through, right? And at the time, she told me that their preacher at the time, was praying for me to make it into the world safely. And I did. But my mom lost a lot of blood. Boom, dad go to jail. Dad in prison. He don't like when I say jail. Okay, prison. My dad was in prison. And I do remember as a young, you know, child, his sister, like my dad's family, they all super pretty to me. I just wanted to be around them, but I didn't know like all the stuff they was really into. You know, I just go drive hours away to Leavenworth, Missouri, I think is what it's called, and see my dad with my aunt and her daughter. But my mom, and my mom's family did not like my dad. They like wanted him dead. They want his family dead. You know, like it was like drug war for real. And so I'm growing up basically a product of that. And my mom ends up back with her first love and had another baby with him. Okay, so I'm living in a house with a mom who's going through stress of her own with a stepdad that's really a crackhead on drugs, for real, in the hood, seriously. And I tell Monty, because he was like, you sound like you was a stressed out little girl. Like, I really was stressed because I'm trying to put the pieces together. I just keep hearing stories of, you know, abuse. Your dad was abusing me. He left me with nothing. You know what I mean? I used to have racks 60,000, this, and we ain't got nothing. You know, and my mother's, like my maternal grandparents, even they
Mm-hmm.
loved me, but it seemed like it was always like, you look like them people. It was obviously like
Mm,
a grudge. What I'm trying to get to, you feel me? Like it was a grudge that their daughter
mm,
got abused by my dad. Now I'm just a product of it. I ain't had nothing to do with it.
Right.
Okay, but I'm constantly hearing about it. Me and my
mm,
big brother, we constantly hearing about it. We will always make a difference. Like we family, me and him, my older brother and my little brother, nigga, you offspring of that nigga, like that, you know.
mm.
And so that's where like the rougher part came from. Okay, because I had
Okay.
only brothers. My mom ended up leaving his dad, and we ended up going off having a better life. We was in Christianity a lot. Okay, like multiple times a week. You
Mm.
feel me? Like she directed the choir. He think it's funny.
Right.
She directed the choir. I used to fall asleep on my papa lap at church. He was like an elder in church. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like I looked up to them, but I knew like I didn't feel like I fit, to be real. Like I just didn't feel like I fit in.
Okay.
At a younger age, I was more shy, like more standoffish, trying to figure stuff out. Where's my dad? When he get out of jail? Is it
Mm.
life? I had some.
Mm.
I think he did have some like a crazy sentence like that. You know, like it was 15 to 25 or something crazy. He got out early. You know, but anyway, where do I pick up? Abba, help me.
Help
Yeah,
her,
so
Father.
my maternal grandparents, they try to keep us in church, keep us busy. We was very disciplined, not necessarily spanked. Me for sure. I was more, you could say I was very spoiled, but I know my mom was trying to like make up for the fact that my dad wasn't there. And she going through stress at the same time, trying to pay bills. You know, my brother's always arguing and stuff. I'm trying to keep my mama happy. You know,
Mm.
there's times she leaving us at her brother house who was a crackhead,
Mm.
and because she was too stressed, you know what I mean? Like she was just stressed. She told me years later, like I had a lot going on, just trying to stay sane, you know, because at the time we was living in the hood,
So
real
like,
hood.
so
Yeah,
how old were you at this point?
probably about, I was under 10. I was a little girl. I was a little
Under
girl.
10. So
Yeah,
family, y'all tuned in. Understand, under 10, understand the environment. You know what I mean? The sister is in. Understand the environment that Monte was in. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And coming up.
Oh, praise to the
And
Most
these
High.
the things that we seeing, you know what I mean? This where we come. Anybody who tuned in is your first time, you don't know nothing about the truth. This is what the sister come from. This is what
Yeah.
the brother come from. And the
Mm-hmm.
Most High said, look, I'm gonna change all of that.
Thanks.
Wow, praise.
I'm finna change all it. Despite what you've been through, I'm gonna set you on this path to be a light.
Yeah.
All praise to the Most High, man. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I'll praise to the Most High. Bless you and thank you for that. Um, yeah. There was times where I got shot at for real. My tire got
God
busted
damn.
down, but I didn't get shot. You
Praise the
know,
Most High.
and I for real at that age I was more scary. Up until middle school and around and my brother, my big brother, would always look out for me. I had uncles on uncles on uncles. You know what I mean? On my mom's side. And then how it was put to me, like, don't mention your last name. Don't say your daddy's last name
Damn.
because he
Mm,
known out here. I don't want y'all putting his name nowhere, all this type of stuff. So it was like fear. That's why I always say now, like, just fear,
Yeah.
fear mongering, you know, words is how I look at
mm,
witches and warlocks and sorcerers is just the words, it's fear, you know,
mm.
but the fearful, Revelation 21:8, unbelieving, fearful is listed first, you know, they have
Man.
that part, you know.
Mm,
So as I got older, I did have a lot of anger because of that daddy issue. I think that's relevant for sisters because a lot of sisters have that absence of a father, which is mentioned in the curses. You understand what I'm saying? And I would like to add, my dad, while he was in prison, he started getting real deep into the word. He was moving
mm,
big way, not no weed, weed,
mm.
real big way. But he got into the word more like a Muslim, you know, you
Okay.
would say. And so I didn't get to talk to him that much though. Like whenever they let him have phone privileges, that's when I could talk to him. So moving on, I'm gonna say middle school, 12, 11. That's when people start the school my mom put me in was in the hood. It's before we moved to the nicer area. Um, Everybody like you, I'm stuck up, I'm light skinned, I'm stuck up, long hair, you stuck up, you don't talk to nobody. Not knowing that I really was hella stressed. And I was getting threatened at home by my mom, like if you come home with bad grades, if you fight, if you this, if you that, I'm scared to get in trouble. Uncle's telling me like I'm gonna know when you lose your virginity. My uncles was they're only a few years older than me now. They ain't that much older than me. Probably like 10 years, less than 10 years. Okay, they were young. And like I'm gonna know when you lose your virginity. I knew that it was wrong to have sex before marriage. If anything was beaten to my head, that was beaten to my head, not physically, but just lectures over and over by my papa, who's now passed away. He's dead now.
Sorry to hear that.
All praise to the Most High. He but my uncle,
so like it, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, you good.
Let me step off just for a brief moment. I'm coming right back though.
God.
It's all right. I'm just focused. Yeah, praise to the Most High. Yeah.
Shalom, y'all. By the way, we can see y'all comments now too. So if y'all have any questions, we can answer them while we wait for Paisley. Shalom. Thank y'all for tuning in and y'all lovely comments. By the way,
Bless
encouragement. Bless y'all. Yes. Thank y'all. I love y'all. I feel y'all spirit. All praise to the Most High. Bless you. I praise little home every day. I think that's how he said. Forgive me if I said that wrong, but thank you. I understand the Most High loves us so much. All praise to Abba. That's right. Sis been through a lot, made her humble. The brother as well. Won't he do it? That's right. Thank you, Judah DeLon. Man, love you too. Glory to the Most High. Shalom, Maurice Thomas. They said it was no accident. How it brought you here.
All praise to the Most High.
All right, Salaki. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, okay. I don't even remember where I was at.
Your uncles was, they drilled it in your head, no fornication.
All praise to the Most High. The water. Yeah.
Thank you, Most High.
Yeah, they drilled it in my head, so I already knew. And by the time middle school came, I'm starting to get punked at school. I'm telling my brother at home, my brother like, you a punk. I'm gonna teach you to fight. I was like fighting my little brother. So my brother, like, basically my older brother, if there's anybody I probably idolized in the world, it was him. I followed everything he told me to do. And it wasn't nothing like weird, but I mean, he tried to protect me the best way he knew how. You know what I mean? It's the best way I could tell you. I did play house and stuff like that with cousins. Inappropriate stuff happened, just to lay on back off what he said. I don't want to, skeet over that. But middle school came. That's when I was in this real hood school. It had bars on it. Like inside had bars called King. And some horrible, like, I saw a girl. Two boys took a girl into the bathroom and like put her head in the toilet stool. All our color. They all us. You feel me? And I remember I was scared to go back. I don't want to go back to that school. The girls want to jump me. I was scared. And so I don't know how I got on the news, but my parents and my mother's, I keep saying my parents, but my mother and her family knew a lot of people. So they pulled me out of that school. My granny helped us find another school, and we ended up moving to a nicer neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm in a nicer neighborhood. My brother, he using my granny address to go to like a gifted and talented school. My older brother, who I would say I idolized and looked up to. So I'm at that school by myself. Now my baby brother, he's like 3 years younger than me, so he wasn't even there yet. So that's when I started getting bold. Like, I'm tired of people punking me. My brother got me fighting my other brother at home. And I used to have a knife. Like, I got out of school about 3 o'clock. And I used to have the knife. I messed up all the nights. So I was home by myself till like 5. And so
Mm.
I'm laying on the couch. I was scared because I had like a lot of fear. You know, my whole upbringing, like people trying to, we gonna jump her, writing about me getting jumped. My mama telling me not to say stuff at home. It was a lot of stress. I could keep a secret, but sheesh, I'm telling you, it was a lot. So
Mm.
anyway, I started getting more aggressive. And by the time high school hit, and I was still a virgin, I had boys I would like, but virginity was like huge. Because if I lost my virginity, my brother might kill you. He might knock me out. I'm just, you know what I mean? It was God, but it was more the people. He said, fear
Mm-hmm.
not they who could kill the body. You feel me? But the body and the spirit. So it was more
Mm-hmm.
the people I was worried about then. And so
Wow.
when I moved to high school, and I used to have a mustache. I left that out. I used to get talked about. I left that out. I can't. I used to get talked about a lot.
And see, that right there, that's exactly why I took notes to, make sure I don't miss. I go back.
That's his way of saying I told. That's his
Man.
way of saying that. Yeah, I
Oh.
did have a mustache. I used to get made fun of because of that. It wasn't even that thick. But I remember my older auntie, I look a lot like her, my dad's mom. And she had a thick when I was little. And she was like, when you get older, baby, they gonna love it. That's what she said, you know. And I'm like, this shit's still ugly.
Yeah, nah.
I started,
Man.
I started trying to bleach it, literally shave it off. Mom like, nope, don't shave. It's gonna come back thicker. I'm like, they talking about me at school, mama. You ain't doing nothing about it. I ain't about to be
God, no.
mustache.
Okay. Good. I'm tripping. God, no.
For real, y'all. For real. Okay. So anger came in, but really, I always had it brainwashed to Christianity to have a husband. Okay.
Huh.
So about middle school, I had an auntie who did hair in the white neighborhood. Okay. Nothing against Europeans. Nothing against them.
Huh.
That's just the neighborhood she had it in. And
Huh.
she used to, I'd be like her model. And she taught me how to do hair. She would wax, taught us, we get her daughter, she had a daughter, wax our mustache, our eyebrows, boom. Then I really popping. I got the haircut. I got dyed. Nobody got dyed yet. So
Mm.
I'm feeling myself. And my granny gets me into this charter school. Me and my little brother. And I was so angry by then. Like, I was fighting my aunties for real. I'm running
Mm.
people. I was really, really aggressive. Really aggressive.
God,
Most
dog.
time something
Okay.
to me, y'all. Okay. So dudes trying to talk to me, I thought it was cute, but losing my virginity was a whole different thing. So on the backhand at home, I got my big brother. He messed with a lot of women. Okay. Okay. And when I say little girls, they high schoolers. Okay. So them is babies.
Uh,
He messed with
mm.
a lot of them back to back, showing me like, watch. I'm like, hold up, I'm put her on hold. Like, listen, you don't want nobody doing this, do you? Hold up. Yeah, I got you. Like, come over. Like, people coming through the back door to this room.
Mm.
We living in a
Mm-hmm.
nice apartment, or not apartment, a townhome at that time. And
Come.
we living good. But my friends only coming over to see him. He's sending me to school to bring a girl home for him, and I'm doing it. He like find a
Mm.
bag, bring her home. I'm like, cool, I'm doing it.
Mm.
At that time, terrible, terrible.
Man, man.
What I'm gonna say? So yeah, I met a boy that was older. It would always be older dudes that would come for me, or that I would even want. And I
Uh-huh.
think that all goes back to my dad being older than my mom, and always getting told that. But it would always be older dudes I'd be attracted to. I always want someone smarter than me, better than me, stronger than me, because I was pretty strong. So I didn't want no weak. You know what I mean? Don't let me run over you, because then that's literally what I didn't want. Okay. But I ended up getting there a lot.
So you end up punching dude out in the chest. You punching him in the chest and go outside. Come,
Yeah,
all right, we with you.
that's terrible. So
Mm-hmm.
I was selling gym at the time. I was very disobedient. Woo, I
Come.
be asking the Most High to still forgive me, though I'm changed, because I used to fail gym because I didn't want to dress out. I didn't want to put on the shorts. I was
Come.
really prissy. Like, I ain't never been not prissy. Okay, if anyone, like, people in the truth say I'm really girly girly. Well, I just went girly girly but rough around the edges. Really a weird
Mm-hmm.
duo. Okay, but very girly girl. Didn't want to do what the dudes did. I didn't want to play basketball, even though I thought I could. You know what I mean? So I had my boyfriend at the time was a football player. I ended up moving out to a different school because my grades, my GPA wasn't high enough for the college preparatory school. And I really didn't care.
Come.
I just was like, I don't care. I'll kill
Mm,
you. I don't care. I'm gonna fight everybody. That's how it was. So
God damn.
for real. And so I moved to a different area, nicer area where our house was. We stopped using my granny address. I'm out in a nicer neighborhood, and I'm real already bold. At this time, I got brothers, cousins, friends. We got family everywhere, spread out for real. So if anybody messed with me, I already knew it's gonna be war. So it's cool. Don't mess with me. That's how I was acting, you know what I'm saying, at school.
Mm-hmm.
So I had an older dude in school that my cousin ended up even hooking me up with because we lived 3 doors down. This is the same house in high school, okay? But my mind frame was I don't want to date nobody at school because if I want to do something, then I'm gonna have to answer them. I'm gonna have to see them every day. So I had like
Mm,
a mind frame of a nigga, excuse that term, but I had a
come.
man mind frame. Like
Come.
I
We
was
raw.
very cunning, crafty, quiet, turn on a sweet voice really quick, and you wouldn't have an idea that I was like that. For real.
Mm,
I repent again. But I don't even like saying it out loud, but
come. Come.
terrible. So the dude was like 3 doors down and he had a blue not a Trans Am, a Camaro, like a 90 something Camaro. And he was light skinned, but really all I care about was car. I was always attracted to darker skin tones. But I started dating him. He was in college. My cousin went up the street, got him for me. I started dating him. Okay. I probably was a girl, not probably. I was a girl that my brothers running in his house, stealing his stuff.
Mm,
And I ain't gonna say nothing about it.
mm, mm.
Yeah.
Man,
Yo,
this is the raw.
Yes, it
This
is.
raw family. This is raw family.
So he
This
get
the
rides.
backgrounds we come from.
It's true. That's true.
yep.
He got
Mm-hmm.
rides, had a lot of shoes because he was spoiled. And he asking me, like, he telling me about it, and I know I can't say nothing because my brothers did it. My brother, my cousins did it. I gotta be quiet. 2 brothers. Now my younger brother, he more street. Was more street. I don't know what he's doing these days, but was more street.
Come.
My older brother more, I call him a blue collar. My dad was a blue collar criminal, so he was more blue collar.
Okay.
So that's just the environment I had. By the time I met, okay, wait, I was fighting my mom too. Okay.
Mm.
I was probably the freaking Jezebel of Jezebels. I was
Come.
fighting my mom. And I would get so angry because she would just keep coming after me, call the police to come get me, um, putting me in crazy homes, threatening me. Like I was really aggressive, and I know it all after prayer and all this time in the truth. It all led back to a curse, but it was traumatizing events. You feel me? That led up to me even being angry like that
Mm, mm,
because it started with shyness. It started with me like timid, and then it went to like aggression. And as y'all were talking about the other day, the spiritual power and the
mm-hmm.
spiritual realm, demonic entities really possessed me at some point. I really wholeheartedly believe that
Mm,
because I'm a whole different person. I used to didn't smile, unless I wanted to. He know.
Me too, though.
Yeah, I
I be
used to.
smelling good these days.
These days,
Praise
I
the
used
Most
to.
High.
And that's all glory be to our Creator, you know, the Most High. Because
Mm,
I used to did not smile. I look at you, then in your eye, be evil, you know.
mm.
And as far as guns and stuff go, the first time a gun was physically pulled on me, a dude was trying to talk to me, and my friend in the back seat of my big cousin's car. When I say big cousin, he was older but shorter than me, you know. But he was not about to play that. So he pulled a gun out. I'm down when he waving the gun at my cousin. I'm telling him, like, speed up. Why are you slowing down? He's slowing down. They idle right next to each other. And my big cousin, like, nigga, you ain't gonna use it. He might use it. Why you tell him that, nigga?
Man,
You
man,
driving.
man.
That's what Most
Indeed.
High really look. I knew there was a God. I knew there was a God. I used to praise
Come.
dance. I knew there was a God. I praise dance in church, but I was wicked during the week. Okay, real life.
Man, it's wrong.
It is. Ooh, my heart started beating because I'm telling you. But I had a few hooder dudes that I would talk to and text them, but I wouldn't like sleep with them. I was raised that my body was like important, you know. So everything was like a business decision. My friends, I don't know if I should hang with her because she talked too much. The dude, I don't know if I should hang with him because he messed with that girl. Like that's how I thought. So moving back to my mom in the household, my mom kicked me out at some point. And I told my dad, now the college dude I'm with, he paying for one of my cell phones. Then I have a friend, she paying for my other cell phone. And then, because my mom, she would always take my cell phone and stuff. So I got people paying for my cell phone. And so I called my dad. He's out of prison at this time. He got out maybe like 04, something like that, I think. And he's out of prison. And he was living in California at that time. Very successful. Like, he got out of jail, like, I don't know what the heck. You know, just right back to the money, I guess. But he was doing it legit. So he was working at a car dealership. I moved to California, and that's when I really got to see what it'd be like to be around him. I had visited him a few times, and all he really did was like splurge on me. Like, I visited him in Vegas, then I visited him in Arizona, and he told me in Vegas, like, don't cook no pork in my house. That's what I feel like, you know, the Most High.
God damn.
Yeah, like, you ain't
Hey,
gonna
check
cook
it out,
no.
Salaki, sir.
You
Because
fine.
it's standing out to me too, you know, that after Pops got out, he went to Cali and you shot out there.
Yeah.
But Monty's mama, right?
Yep.
Monty's mama was in Cali.
Yeah.
God damn. Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you.
She said that too. But yeah, me and my brother have visited him a few times, you know, and I got multiple siblings, sisters. I got an older brother. And by the way, he was in Hager Street too. My older brother, he was still in Kansas City at the time. And when they was messing with me, he was the one picking me up from school. He grilled out, you know, he made me feel secure because I was tiny, tiny, tiny. And he was big, you know, and he kept heat. So I felt safe in the hood. But when I got out the hood, he was on to Vegas. So boom, I'm in high school. I had already visited my dad a few times, and all I really seen from him was money. Like, he gave me money, he took care of me, he bought me a lot of stuff, but he didn't really have the time to spend for me. So that's where my void was missed. Even when my mom, like, I wasn't missing a meal. I had clothes. I wasn't rocking J's or nothing because I wasn't into tennis shoes. You know what I mean? I wasn't into that. That was not me. But I had stuff. And my void was more with the love, the quality time, you know, the one-on-one times where my void was. So I went to Cali. He had tried to spend time with me when I went to high school there. This is like my senior year. Now, he mentioned baby daddy, okay? Our children's biological dad, they have the same dad. We had already met each other before I moved to California in high school. And he was the second person I messed with, like, sexually, okay? And so he's mixed. He wasn't my type with my mixed friend. When I say mixed, I mean biracial, triracial, whatever people want to call, okay? His dad was black and his, or African American, Hebrew, and his mom was European, or is European. And
Okay.
so I wasn't really into him because he got blue eyes, green eyes, pale skin. And I'm like, nah, he too light. When my friend trying to tell me he's a nice boy, talk to him, he's cool. And I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I don't know about y'all. You go on, with him. Cause she trying to set me up with a double date. And I done ran away from my mom. I'm staying with my uncle's ex-girl at this time. Before I moved to Cali. I ended up talking to him anyway. And I ended up liking him. But I moved to California and my dad had me on strict schedules. Like, I'm paying your cell phone bill. You gotta get off the phone at 9. You gotta be in the house at 9. Anybody you talk to, I gotta meet them. Don't be around no fags. When I say fags, he didn't like gay people. He ain't like, look, I ain't know nothing about the Bible at this time. I didn't know that the Most High said, where is it? Leviticus 18?
It's over there.
18:22, not to lie with mankind as with womankind, but he already knew that. My dad knew multiple languages, years in prison, like 12, 15, I don't know how many years in prison. He was studying and getting buff,
Nice.
So
Pops on it.
yeah. So he was very overprotective, what I would call, but I liked it because it wasn't like a false dad. This is my dad. He looked like me. He handsome, he was strong. I knew that he was gonna stand up for me. He would, he showed me multiple times. He wasn't really verbal or what was I gonna say, physically abusive to me. He never was physically abusive to me. He was more verbally. He talked so much, really, you might want to die. How the stuff he would say.
Man.
You know what I mean? He would threaten, like when I was away from him, would threaten to hurt my mom and stuff like that. But I know it was because his childhood. So nothing against my dad. I love my dad. It's all forgiveness, love for real for my dad. And I don't like coming from my dad. I love my dad for real. So yeah, I ended up I met people out there like cheerleaders. They pretty much adopted me into the fold. Like, you're gonna be our friend. So they way faster than where I was from. When I say faster, they on different type of clothes. School really liked the TV. I was in San Diego. School really liked the TV. You know what I mean? It was really fun. And I'm into like heels. Like in Kansas City, I wasn't wearing heels, and I started wearing pumps, stilettos. Got my belly buttons pierced. Double piercings. My dad didn't know nothing about it. I was sneaking behind him because he had a young chick. She like 20s. My dad's like 60 now. But the chick was like 20 something and that's his wife now. It's my stepmom. But when I'm in like high school, and so when I first moved there, they in a 1-bedroom. I'm sleeping out on the couch. And so my mom in my house, I can walk around with my panties on and a big t-shirt, that cover my legs a little bit. But there, she ain't like it because she didn't know who I was, obviously. She's Mexican, okay? Spanish, Latino. My dad is Colombian and African American, I guess. I don't know, something. And so his mom is from Colombia. And so, yeah, she Mexican. They speaking Spanish around me. We having problems in the house. So they leave. They get their own place. And my dad leaves me in the apartment by myself. No furniture. I had a bedroom furniture. That's it. Living room that had nothing in it because he like take me on this drive one day. Like, yeah, my wife, she don't feel comfortable around you. Basically, she didn't really like me at first. And so I was hurt behind that. Like, I'm your daughter. Like, what you mean your wife? I didn't understand where his aim was. But he was I understand now that, I'm raised in this house by this woman he done left me to, who's teaching me Christianity. And he didn't even celebrate holidays. He didn't celebrate Christmas. None of that. He didn't celebrate none of that type of stuff. You feel me?
Okay.
He looked at me like, what has happened to my daughter? I'm rough. I'm hella sneaky. You know what I mean? I remember one day he was following me in Cali. I seen his car. He had a Cadillac. I seen him in the rear view with my friends. We on the way back to the house to kick it. I already know, like, well, my daddy don't like this stuff. But he knew I was sneaky. Like, he would sit up and watch me, follow me around, become friends with my friends, taking them places. meeting their moms, you know. So I
Mm-hmm.
felt boxed in. I felt like I couldn't be free with him. So I got back cool with my mom just so I can get away from my dad. Real talk.
So, so like, so
Yeah.
with everything that Pops did, right? Like to who you are today, is it appreciated? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Okay, all praise to
Yeah.
the Most
I'm
High.
happy
All
you
right.
said that because I got a video on my YouTube about it, similar. But just going into like daddy issues and like the curses, it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely appreciated because even my brother, it was protection. You feel me? Like my dad
Mm,
would always tell me too, like, you don't want to get pregnant, do you? You don't want to be
mm,
fat. You he said it like that, but he be serious. You know what I mean? Like you
mm-hmm,
gonna get fat, Amber. You gonna get fat. Don't get pregnant. You know, and I was just on some. Nah, I'm trying to live my life. Let me be. I'm tired of
mm,
all y'all telling me what to do, nigga. You ain't been here my whole life. Now you
mm,
want to come up and try to be my daddy, and then my
mm,
mama trying to tell me something. But I really feel genuinely that he was trying to love me the best way he
mm.
knew how. You
Come.
know, I really sit and think nowadays, like, how did it feel? I've asked him, like, being in prison, knowing you got multiple children, not being able to see them, hug them. All you getting is pictures. All we get pictures,
Mm,
letters. That's
God,
it.
dog, man.
Times, you know, depending maximum security. I don't know what security levels he was in. Um, but yeah, I definitely feel appreciated because I appreciate him because I always remembered it when I got too mad or when I felt like, dang, I'm in this situation where when it comes to me getting pregnant at a young age,
Mm,
um, I do feel appreciated. Let me just summarize, leave it there. I definitely feel appreciated. I'm appreciative that the Most High gave me my dad back, that he didn't stay in prison,
mm,
you know, and that he even had the patience with
mm,
me and that he did knock me out because I make him want to
mm,
knock me out the way I acted. So,
mm. Thank you, Father.
for real. So,
So
when
how
I
old were
moved
you?
back,
So
I
like,
was like high school, 6, 17, something like this. Was
okay,
08. I'm
come,
29 now. So I was a young high schooler. I graduated in 09. So
okay.
yeah, when I moved back, I don't remember how I got back with my mom. They put me in a crazy home for trying to fight her again and lying, saying that I got raped and I didn't.
Mm,
And fighting. Just I don't even know how to really get it because I'm not that person no more. But just I was
thank you,
aggressive.
Father.
You know, I would
Uh-huh.
punch my mama in the face. You know, I
Mm,
hit her and
mm,
she hit me back. You know, we
mm,
fighting each other. So she
mm,
locked me up and I end up running away. And no, one day she kicked me out. Actually, this was after I graduated high school because I went back to Missouri and I finished high school there um, after coming from Cali. And I ended up their biological dad ended up writing me, like inboxing me on Facebook, and I would check it in computer class. So we ended up talking again once I graduated high school, and I
mm,
actually wanted to get pregnant. This is a key thing. I told him I wanted to have his baby. I take responsibility for my nonsense. I don't think it is constructive to even blame somebody else for what they did when you consented to it. You feel me?
come.
So I told him like I wanted to have his baby and I got pregnant right before I was going to college. My mom
Mm,
was going to pay for me to go to college, culinary art school to be a chef. I was trying to get my act together and be obedient to my mom the best I could. And it was best for us to be apart, you know? So I'm living with a roommate, so-called friend at that time, and she messing with the buddy he talking about that he picked up, and I'm messing with because they was best friends, their biological dad, and he was a smooth talker, you know. Praise the Most High, and I don't have nothing against him either. I still love him, pray for him in a righteous way, no weird
mm,
stuff. But yeah, I got pregnant with Aaron, and I remember he was happy at first, and it seemed cool. But I already knew like it was embarrassment for me to tell my mom and her family because my grandmother had her first shot at 16 years old. And she
mm,
told me growing up over and over again, don't get pregnant. don't open your legs. So it was a shame. It was shameful for me to be like, hey, I had a child out of wedlock. You know what I mean? So anyway, got pregnant. I had a job of my own because my mom was like, I ain't buying you nothing. If you want, you know, your personal hygiene items, you have to go to work for it. So I had a job. My brother had a job. Um, you know, I'm working. I ended up telling her like, hey, I'm pregnant. I was gonna hide it from you, but I'm gonna tell you because I was gonna hide it until I got to college and then tell her at college. And she was, because I knew she was gonna say, you ain't going to college. I ain't paying for it. And that's exactly what she said. If you go to college, you're going to have the baby first, leave the baby home with me, then you go to college. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to have a baby and leave the baby home with you. So that's when our relationship started getting better. But around that time, I found out that their biological dad had a baby. Like, while we in a relationship, he already had a baby. Like, the baby had just got into the world. Their older sister. Okay. Yeah. So, I'm a kind of fast forward because that time is a bit splotchy for me because it was a lot of heartbreak with our relationship. And he had basically, look, people in the truth be like second wives. Okay, I probably was a second wife in a worldly term. He had another one. And we fighting each other. He lying to both of us. You know, I'm trying to love her because I felt bad for her. She probably felt bad for me, but it just wasn't going nowhere. It was drama and nonsense. So I had my first daughter and I started working at a car dealership. My daddy schooled me a lot on, you know, making money in commission sales, you know, how to make money legit, you know. He told me about finance and all that stuff when I was in California. He was a finance manager. So I started selling cars. And when I'm selling cars, Erin, our daughter, she's only like, what, I don't know, less than a year old, coming on a year. And their biological dad wanted to see me again. He wasn't really active, not, you know, providing. What do I expect though? I mean, I was out of order from the way I even got pregnant. So I was taking care of her on my own, you know, really, with my mom's help, financially and like babysitting and stuff. My mom and my aunt, they was like the main people that helped me then. And so he wants to visit her, but really wants to visit me. One night we got drunk. That's the night I got pregnant with Jalen. And yeah, I remember being at work and I was making good money at that time. That's what I call it. I was making good money at that time. I remember being at work and saying to this a coworker, like, she was pregnant again and she was stressed out. I'm like, boy, I'm happy I ain't got another baby by him. But I was pregnant and I didn't know I was pregnant. My son already knows this, but he's asleep. But I was pregnant. I didn't know I was pregnant. So I let him know I'm pregnant. Me and him dissing. He living with the other girl. We pretty much broken up. And I don't, Lord knows, I really don't know. And just to keep it kosher and not lie, I don't know how we got back together. But we ended up getting back together and I got my own place, you know, after having Jalen. And I was working for T-Mobile selling phones. And I had my own place. This is the place he's talking about. And at that time, he spent a night out. Baby daddy spending the night out a lot. He trying to be with me, but he playing both sides of the field. There's a lot of stress with the relationship. We fighting each other physically. We both fighting each other. I probably overpowered him more, real life, but we both would fight each other. It was domestic abuse for both of us. And the children, to me, was my main concern. Like, I just do without you, you know? So we ended up getting married in the world. Okay, their biological dad. We were married in the world. The whole reason I even coerced him into marriage is because I felt like that's the only way I could keep him. That's real talk. Only because I felt like that's the only way I can keep him down. And it was a competition to me. Like, I know I'm cuter than her. I work harder than her. Like freaking crabs in a bucket. That's how we all raised to hate each other. Israelites.
Hashtag emulations.
Emulations, yeah.
Emulation, calm.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, I'm smoother than her. You know, I'm smarter than, boom, I'm going to get him. He told her he wouldn't marry nobody, but he ended up marrying me. Still, nothing changed, you know? So it was terrible. And I'm getting car after car. I used to work far places. I don't know why. I would work far, drawn like 40-minute drives from my apartment. And so I'm trying to get to the point where I seen him. I started working for General Motors on the assembly line. And the whole reason I got that job is because we were going through marital counseling because he cheated so much. Couldn't keep him home. And seriously, hey, this is the truth. So he was a mess, you feel me? And I was getting on my wits end with it. Okay, this was years and years and years of nonsense. So by the time we started really dating us in 2013. So 2012, we got married 2012, end of 2012. And he cheated on me the same night with somebody else. Like not even a whole different person.
God dog, man.
Yeah. But my thing is this, you know, these curses, they're perpetual. They're perpetual. You understand? I try not to be my mom, I became her. Try not to be my dad, became him anyway. Because there was still some type of void, and that's the Most High that was even missing from the picture. You know, so I don't have no type of grudge towards him. We don't talk. I have no idea where he is. I ain't talked to him in years. I don't know what's going on, but I still pray for him. I still love him. So I don't want nobody to get no negative picture of their biological dad, because I don't paint no negative picture about him to them. We was children. He was a child. From what I know now, he's married, but we were children. We were like 20, in our 20s. That's them as babies, you know what I mean? And dumb, ignorant in the world sense. You understand? The Most High winked at us in our ignorance. So I don't got nothing. Yeah, I really don't. So yeah, by the time Monte came, their biological dad had a best friend, and Monte had a name. So I had a name for myself in one part of the town. Good, I guess. You know, known but popular, whatever. And for himself, Nimmo, you know. And so their biological dad tell me about him, and I'm knowing, you know, this who about to pull up at my house, okay? They smoking weed.
What he say about him?
You just so extra.
It's raw.
Hey, what he say? Man, look, man.
Spoiled. He spoon fed. You know what I mean? He comes from. He ain't know nothing about his background. Like I know his background, but this is what we seeing. If you thinking of a perception, because the Most High told us that He judges our hearts. Men judge by outward appearance, unless we do stuff like this. Now you know. You know what I mean? But that's how He was judging him. He didn't know that his dad had just passed, and they got whatever insurance money and whatever else happened. Okay, so he had a nice car. He had blue lights shooting out the bottom of his RX-8 Mazda. Okay, when he pulled up, I'm already knowing he supposed to be the cool boy, money. Okay, big boy money. Okay, cool. So, and I'm living in the hood at this time. I got a nice little apartment, but you know it's in the back. You know what I mean? It's cool. So. I'm balancing me and 2 children, daycare, all that, and him, paying for him to live too. So anyway, he come upstairs, and y'all see him is all white now, but he used to dress in different colors, okay? So all I see is be real with y'all. I'm already having fun with him. I want him out, but I felt bad kicking him out because I felt like I was going to pull him away from them or pull them away from him, and I didn't want them to have the same life I had. So that's really what I was holding on to, but it wasn't really worth me to keep him. I was trying to break up with him, and he just kept coming back. So what am I gonna say? So they on the balcony smoking before he come. They come back in the house, and this so-called best friend of his, we already knew the dude. He talking about his buddy. We knew each other for years. So Monte come in. All I see. He was cute, like he was swaggy, you know what I mean? He come in all smooth, extra smooth.
Monte, Monte, come through. What you have on?
I know you had.
Oh man.
Yeah, no jacket like a vest. You know, he was cut, ripped. Yeah, like a vest.
Out here in the gym, going hard. Okay.
I'm like, that's my type right there, but he would have never known because I was too sly.
I have an idea.
Yeah, I was too sneaky. I was too quiet, and you know, I looked at him and I'm like, well, I gotta get rid of. In my head, it was a business deal. Like, Gotta get rid of him first. I don't know how I'm getting rid of him, but he cute. I'm leaving alone. Boom. I don't care. I ain't gonna chase no dude. I've never been a chaser of nothing. Right. Groupie, no, none of that, you know. So I thought he was cute though, like, you know, boom, left it there. So that's pretty much the first encounter. Yeah. Then I ended up moving to a nicer area, and the baby daddy ended up coming with me. Okay. And I wanted to get a divorce because it was so sick. I was in school too. I was in business school at the time, college, trying to juggle college. So I almost completed college, but I'm a college dropout too. So, but then I'm working overnight shifts at General Motors, making cars, Malibus, the Chevys, okay, at night with the, you know, manly work, okay, at night. And then during the day, going to hair school. I switched from culinary art school to hair school, was in business school, and went to so many schools, okay? Couldn't stay consistent with nothing, you know? So when I moved, I'm doing schemes. I was like the orchestra of schemes because I knew the business side of cell phone companies and stuff. So that's when I ended up seeing Monte again, where he said I came into the store, I seen him, he didn't think nothing, you know, much about it. He thought we was cute together. He didn't know that I was breaking it off for him. You know, we were having a horrible relationship, keeping it cool for social media, but it was terrible. So I ended up kicking him out. And I had a lot of health issues, as my husband already told you.
Wait, you talking about the part where you pulled up the second time to the retail shop?
By myself?
And told him to stay in the car or something?
Oh, yeah. I told my little brother, you know, I always took care of my little brother if I could. And my ex, you know, I told him to stay in the car, but I knew Monte was there. I seen his car before. I think I knew he was there. I seen his car and I liked him, you know. But I really just see him on my own because I didn't want to have to be fake in front of the ex, you know. So, but he still wasn't too aggressive. He just smiley, you know, little flirt, and boom, we didn't see each other again after I left the cell phone store. So, I'm working at General Motors, and I had diseases. I had high blood pressure. After I had my daughter, they told me I had rheumatoid arthritis. And the reason they told me I had that, I feel it was most that told us, if you don't keep these commandments, this is what's going to happen. Yeah. And Deuteronomy chapter 15 or chapter 28:15 on down. Yeah. And I really take that as the Most High texted, like, hey, yo, you did this, and this is why you got inflammation. This is why you got that. This is why you got that. And so, but then I didn't know that's what that was. So I still kept trying to fight through it. They gave me the little medicine. They told me when I was 19 years old, they told me, this when my daughter was a little baby. They said, you got rheumatoid arthritis as bad as a 72-year-old. Wow. I ain't medical words at that time. Yeah.
God damn.
They showing me pictures of how my hands gonna look. I'm like, nah, I was so stubborn. Like the Most High said, stiff-necked, I was stiff-necked, stubborn.com. I was real stiff-necked. I just like, I'm gonna keep working. I don't care. I'm gonna pop these pills. I'm gonna drink. I got on liquor, and I was what you call a functional alcoholic. You wouldn't have known I was drunk. I could work, you know, more than weed. I would choose liquor straight. So, yeah, I'm at work. Boom. I have a heart problem at work. I ended up falling off, having a heart problem at work, and I was unionized through General Motors. Like I was a permanent, you know, there. And I was under the union. And so with the union, with health concerns, I had a union rep that would fight for me and try to give me my job back. But they basically came back and told me if I couldn't come back with a lower blood pressure, because we had a doctor there on site at General Motors, then I couldn't work there no more. So then I couldn't get my blood pressure back down because I was obviously eating pork, unclean stuff. I didn't even know what pork was, to be real with you. I just eat meat, call it sausage. You know what I mean? I didn't know what none of these real things was. I knew that bacon was pork, I guess, but I didn't really put it together in my mind like that came from a pig. You know what I mean? I was just too stubborn. So yeah, I stopped working for GM. Yeah. I started working for GM in like 2013, September 2013. And I was on unemployment. Good unemployment is what I thought, but I had kicked their dad out. He moved on. He got a whole new chick. I'm onto my own life, and I started being a liquor promo girl. Okay.
Okay.
Liquor promo girl. I met this chick in the club. She like, you pretty? I'm like, yeah, you're pretty too. She like, you want to work for me? We end up being friends. And we start, working together. And basically a liquor promo girl gets liquor and like you go into bars.
Okay.
I went into bars. I went into clubs. I went into grocery stores. I got paid like what, $40 an hour or something crazy like that, 20, $40, I don't know. To walk around in a little tiny dress and give away, kind of like Hooters, and give away free shots, to drunk people and tell them to buy it from, the bar. Okay. So I wasn't a
Okay.
stripper, but hey, borderline,
Con.
Tatiana, that was terrible. So
Mm.
boom. So I meet him
The
in a group.
raw.
Yeah.
Salakia. The raw family. You know what I'm saying? We the shovel in the dirt right now, man.
Right.
On both ends, the shovel is in the dirt with Monte and Amber. Listen to the story.
Yeah.
If you think the Most High can't clean you up, you got to hear
Woo!
their story, where they come from. Look at the environment that they come from, the households, the
Yeah.
situations that they've been through.
Yeah.
But here today, they say, listen, all of that is wiped away. We stand to serve the Most High. Keep the commandments and the faith in Hamashiach, or the Savior, Christ.
Praise the
You
Most
know what I'm
High.
saying? Being guided by the Holy Spirit, we can't lead up. We can't separate the Godhead. They all, agreeing in one.
Yeah.
Yes.
All
Right.
praises to the Most High for y'all's story. All right, so go ahead, sir.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, Monty gonna take off because this is when we really started messing with each other. After the breakup, I'm on my own. I live back with my mom at this time because of my health. I have been in a hospital, near death on the cardiac floor. Older women, for
God
days.
dog.
I almost lost my life a lot of times to diseases and
Man.
fights, all the ridiculous stuff I used to live in. And so I was back in my mom's house by the time I'm promoing, my mom keeping the children at night, and I'm in the grocery store.
Well, talk about how you got to the grocery store. It wasn't.
What do you mean how I got to the grocery store?
Like, remember you said something about that you wasn't even supposed to be there. You were supposed to be at a different location.
I forget that whole story. I may have supposed to been at a different store.
All right, so I picked
and
up.
Oh yeah, you're right. I ended up in the wrong store.
Yeah.
The schedule was wrong or something, but I ended up just going ahead and working that store because we had, we was contracted out through a private company to work in these stores and go. We got the liquor bottles. We giving out liquor. So I'm there with vodka. Was it vodka?
I don't know.
I think it was like clear. It had to have been vodka. It was clear, okay? And so I have all my liquor out, and boom, I'm gonna turn it back over to King.
All right, so one thing I want to make say something about, because what she was saying about Hooters and her, wearing, lascivious clothing or revealing clothing, is that is exactly, to me, I see that as the Most High saying, don't whore out the daughters of Zion, or don't whore out the daughters of Zion, because you got them out here serving food or making money or working for your company, and they're dressed this type of way, and people are actually coming in just to see them that type of way.
Little black.
You know what I mean? So just take note, just highlight. All right, so pretty much this is how the story goes. So I'm leaving work one night, and I'm waiting for my connect. You know what I mean? I told you, weed was a big part of my life. So I'm waiting on my connect, right, to pull up to the spot. And I'm like, all right, well, while I'm waiting on him, I'm going to go into this grocery store. Now, this grocery store is actually from my old neighborhood where I used to live, so I'm familiar with the grocery store. And I felt like I used to go in grocery stores to buy alcohol because I felt like it was cheaper there or something. I don't know. But anywho, so I go into this grocery store, and my intention is to go buy bottles for the night. Probably pick up like 4 or 5 bottles. I used to spend like $60, $80, $100, 5 bottles, whatever, or more. So I pull up, and guess who I see?
Oh man.
I see her. So I'm like, I peep her. I'm like, oh yeah, I got this time. I'm feeling good. Like,
Snatch on.
So I got the cart, right? So I'm pushing the cart. So I pull up on her real smooth, and I'm like, what I say?
He like, I've been looking for you in the daytime with a flashlight. I'm like, boy, how you?
Throwback line. He's got the throwback lines. He's, hey man.
Yeah, you know, man, I've been looking for you in the daytime with a flashlight. And she say something, she smile or something. So I know I'm in there. A little blush here and there. So then she give me she in front of the liquor entry. And she like,
Mm,
hey, she a liquor girl. She pulling out liquor. So she give, you know how to
gone.
give free samples. So she give me a free
Uh-huh.
sample. I'm like, hey, this is cool. So pretty much somebody come and interrupt, which I needed a breather anyway. Like, dang, I really just said that. This dude is crazy. So I'm saying to myself, right?
Wow.
So somebody
Uh-huh.
come interrupt. I go into the liquor entry, get the bottles, and I pull back up on her while the person's gone. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm having a party tonight. You should come through. Because in my mind, every night was a party. Like, rather it be multiple people over or just few people or just one person, we just smoke and drink and whatever. It was a party to me. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So I
gone.
invite her over, and of course she accepts. But I want you to tell your point of view of what you was thinking after I said that, and I pulled up and all that before I move on to when you actually came on.
Oh, when you said that you was having a party?
When I said you can just start from where I said I've been looking for you in the daytime with a flashlight.
Oh, I was really a little nervous because he wouldn't have known it, but I was kind of shaking. I'm like, let me get a few more shots in me because I don't. This Monte, I ain't calling Monte. I didn't even know that was his name, y'all, for real. That's Neem, this Nimmo, you know. I'm like, I don't know, you know. And then he like come to this party. And then I'm like automatically putting pieces in my head like, well, he messed with oh boy, know this dude, they know that dude. Oh no, this is a bad idea. But I take your number, I give you my number, we exchange, and then I want to have control over the situation. In my head, I'm like, yeah, I come. And then I'm like, nah, I don't know, but let me think about that. That probably gonna be a no. And so,
Uh-huh.
so I go to a
Man.
bar.
Uh-huh.
I go to a bar that night
Uh-huh.
to do my second promo. I'll get even drunker at the bar.
Mm,
Okay, I get more lit at the bar, but I know how to like drink water in many times so I can stay sober and functional to
mm,
drive. And
mm.
so, go ahead. You can go ahead.
So I'm at the house, you know what I mean? She
Salak,
called me.
Salaki, Salak, y'all. All
Mhm.
right, so daughter of Naphtali from Israel said, how do we come up on this live and share testimonies? Sis, all you got to do, just shoot your information to children of the prophets 144 at gmail.com. You know what I mean? And the people who come on now, I want the raw. So if you ain't trying to come raw like bro and sis coming, you know what I mean? Hey, you know, we still can do it, but we want the route to because it's souls out there that need to hear this to understand that the Most High can clean you up from whatever background that you got. And
Yes.
and and of course, Judah the Lion, Judah the Lion, more shots out. Come on, hey, Manny Chevy's out. Come. Cream white Concord. I'm with you, Monty. Let's roll. Let's go with it.
So I'm at the house, you know, she called me and she like, I got my own place at this point. It's my first, my own apartment. So
Mm-hmm.
anyways, she called me and she say something about like, are you, now I think about it, you know I was cool with him because I pulled up with him. But anyway, she asked me,
Are you still cool with
she
him?
asked me if I was still cool with Buddy that I picked her up, that picked up from her house.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, no, I'm not. Because again, in my mind, I just kick it with people when it's time, like, you know, just
Mm-hmm.
associates. But if
Come.
you, it sounds like you asking me because if I say yes, you ain't gonna come through. So yeah, no, I ain't cool with him like that.
Uh,
So anyhow, so she, you know, I guess that was good enough for her. So she pulled up to the scene. So she comes to the house, right, or the apartment, and I open the door. And when I open the door, we both seen each other, and I kid you not, we just both started laughing, like like our souls or something knew what was coming next. Like if
Man.
like if she literally pulled out my rib,
Yeah.
my body knew like
Man.
finally, what's up, y'all?
Mm.
Man, you know what I mean?
Yes.
If we really
Man.
looking at it like
Real
that,
life. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? If we looking at it like the Most High really pulled like made each man or woman for each man or whatever the case may be. It has
Con,
to be something. Because I opened the door and we just both start laughing. All right?
con.
Yeah.
Man,
So then,
that brings some to mind, man. The Toby. I'm listening though, Ark.
okay, all right. So then we go, we chill at the house. Ain't nobody there. Just me and her, of course. So it's a party to me. But she chilling. She ain't asking where the people at. We conversating. I would say, man, hey, I think I heard Karata's out, right?
Con.
Yeah, he said, in that song, he said, change me. He said he was never a killer and none of that, but he definitely knew how to conversate, or he knew about girls. Like, he knew how to do it.
Man.
So I was one that I would conversate with her, and I'm conversating with her, and I'm picking her brain, like, what don't you like? What do you like? And she like, I don't like when dudes always try to have sex with me. I'm like, bet. I'm going to hold on to that, and I'm going to be that dude that don't try to have sex with you. I'm going to wait till
Con.
you try to have sex with me.
Con.
Stuff like that. And we keeping it cool, we smoking, chilling. She next thing she pick up the phone, she call her mom, or she call somebody. She like, yeah, I ain't coming home. So I'm staying. I'm gonna stay out. And I'm like, what? Next thing you know, she's spending the night. We don't do nothing this night though. We literally just, she laid on my chest, fell asleep, and it was a beautiful interaction. Simple.
Yeah.
No fornication, but still, full of sin. But we talking, communicating, whatever. So up on, pretty much at that night, because obviously we're dealing with multiple people, she done moved to the top of my list. Now she number one. If she texts first, I'm responding to her first. If I got 5 text messages, I'm responding to her first. She at the top. You want to talk about the night?
Priority.
Huh?
He said
priority.
You got it.
Come.
So what's your view or your perspective of what you remember from the time
From the time I walked in? Well, first when he gave me his address, I was still contemplating because I was with my. I'm supposed to meet up. No, yeah, I was with my homegirl first, and we went to smoke with my play brothers. I had a lot of play brothers, but we went to smoke with them first, and I was just contemplating it, like, I don't know, this dude. I told her about it. She like, you just got out of a relationship. Like, no, don't be doing that. So, like, don't go that far. Like, you don't need to be doing that. And I'm just like, I don't know. I might just go see what's going on, And so I ended up calling him or texting him when I was in my own vehicle because I was following her in hers. And I think I called you or text you, whatever. Text first or call. And I'm just like, look, is you cool with him or not? And he like, I said, or no.
Right.
He like, no. He like, nah, something like that. I'm like, okay, cool. I ain't hear no people in the background. That's what he fails to explain that part when we tell this. It wasn't no people in the back, so I automatically like, dude, ain't nobody this dude's house. Where he at? I don't know what I'm about to walk into, but I'm gonna just go because I was risky. Like I already knew, like I was crazy. Okay. Unnormal, unnatural, okay? So I went to his house, opened the door, like he said. The whole neighborhood, I felt like I was at his mom's house because it was too nice. For me, it was a nice place. It was like elevated area, like your mom, like my mom lived in a nice place. She's older, you know what I mean? So I get in there, I see him. He on his white tank top, he on black basketball shorts, and he right. We both looked at each other and we both just laughed. It was the weirdest, but most genuinest moment where I touch and agree with him. Like
Thank you, Father.
I really was taking out his spiritual, when the spiritual body was made, rid. Like I felt like we belonged together. Like we could actually have a conversation, and that's what made me want to stay because it wasn't nobody there, which number one made me more comfortable. Because like a bunch of people, everybody like I'm with AP, they call me AP, I'm with her, or I talk to Ambi, none of that. It was just me and him, and I liked that. And he was willing to talk to me. Even though we both probably had our own little ulterior motives, I really did like him. Real talk. I just felt like he was genuine, and I'm like, I seen the M up in his house. I'm like, remember the M, the towel you had to say M in the bathroom? Yeah. Like, who is M? He's like, that's my name. My name is Monte.
So like it one second too. Look, the purpose is fulfilled.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm looking at the comment from Nisi Amaris Israel. or Amaris Israel. Salaki, if I pronounce your name wrong, sir. It
Mm.
says that's beautiful and very encouraging to us that's solo.
Oh,
All praises to the most high. So that's a part of, you know what I mean, why we have the brother and sister on a married couple, a holy matrimony in the truth. Well,
yes.
both of them practicing the culture. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And he
Yeah.
said it is encouraging those who solo and single. So all praises to the most high. Con.
All praise to the Most High for
Yeah.
real.
All right. You got more you want to say on that before I go into? Cause I'm gonna go into. Uh,
We're moving to Cali.
nah, I'm going to the habits.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he smokes more heavy weed, and to me, I'm like, I don't really smoke weed, but if you got liquor, you like, what type of liquor? I got all type of liquor. What you want?
Whoa.
And I'm like, I don't remember. I forgot what I was drinking, but I would try to keep track so I didn't drink, separate and have a hangover the next day. So, he like introduced me to heavier smoking weed. Cause to me, I felt like, how high can you get, dude? Like you
Mm,
smoke too much. It's a little too much, like a chain smoking weed,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
mm.
But
Ah,
he got me on it. We started talking more, and like you said, he was asking me questions. I think you said, "Let's play 21 questions," or "Let's just ask each other questions," something like that. Yeah, it was a little slick, but it was cool. We talking, and my mom had the children. She expected me home. So I called her. I'm like, I'm staying the night with my such and such, my friend tonight. I ain't say him because that would have been a hell no. Get your, But I said, I was staying with my friend. So I remember he was like, "You staying the night?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm staying the night." But at that time, I was in my time of the month. I was flowering. I call it flowering now.
Con.
Mine had died, my menstrual. I knew I wasn't gonna do nothing. He might not have known, but I already knew like that. I was just cool. Like I liked talking to him so long, so much. I didn't want to leave him. For real. It wasn't nothing.
Beautiful.
It was just the way he
Mm.
talked. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So eventually, you know what I'm saying, we keep hanging out every night, every day, whenever we got some free time. Her habits start becoming my habit. So, uh, she watching me, I'm smoking, like she said, chain smoking. By the way I was getting to all this stuff, like how I had the nice apartment, had the fancy car, and could buy liquor and could buy weed and all that, is because I had a job. I was working for one of those retail shops where you make hourly and commission, and I was really
Mm.
good at it. Like so, I would go hard. Like I'll be there
Con.
maybe open to close,
Yeah.
just getting the hourly check, but then that commission
Mm-hmm.
just blow everything out the water. So, and a lot where we from or the captive state we was at, people don't really, you know what I'm saying, get jobs like that. They don't really, work hard like that from the little circles we was in. Now, I mean, it could be different now, it could be different in other communities, but for the most part,
Yeah.
brothers wasn't really moving like that, like getting jobs. They was more about hanging out, trying to make it to the league, trying to be a rapper. But like I said, when I got my first job at 16 and I seen a paper check,
Mm-hmm.
I knew what it was. And like I said, money became the idol. So
Mm.
it was nothing like, you know what I'm saying, my parents was rich or I was a big time drug dealer, nothing like that. I went to work. I clocked in, clocked out. You know what I mean?
Con.
Uh,
Salaki, y'all.
yep.
So just real quick, family who tuned in, it is open for either Monte or Amber. Any questions?
Uh,
And Monte, you do have a question. Well,
yes, sir.
both of you.
Okay.
From Wesley Green
All right.
says, how did you overcome weed smoking? How did you overcome weed smoking?
All right. I'll jump into it. So overcoming weed smoking is crazy. I was blowing it, and that's why I keep harping on that. The fact I was in love with the stuff. Like I usually just literally like to blow the smoke itself. To the point when I first got introduced to weed, I started smoking Black and Miles because
Mm,
it was an easy access where I could just blow smoke. One day I read the label and it said, "This is equivalent to non-cigarettes." I'm like, "Oh hell no!" So I put the cigarella or the Black and Mild down. That was like 2 days of it. I'm going hard on Black and Mild, going all that, because I couldn't get to weed that easy. But then I'm like, no, hell no, right? I knew cigarettes was a problem. So anyway, I overcame weed smoking literally by the fear of the Most High. So I'm gonna get to the truth, but it literally is like this. I found the truth. It was dropped on my lap. I was like, I'm gonna read the Bible from front to back. I need to find out what else is in here. I was leaving my high estate to go to a low estate. So I went to my mom's house, was in a small bedroom, and I was working from home and reading the Bible. Working from home, reading the Bible. But before I even went to my mom's house, I was like, I was leaving California. I'm gonna get to that. But I was leaving California, and I knew that at this point, when I get back, my focus is just on the Most High. I wasn't going to get back to Missouri and try to find weed or nothing like that. And I hadn't seen in the Bible that it was wrong yet. My focus just became that I would literally, on the Sabbath, I would literally be reading Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus. Just move. I'm talking about reading chapters, and I'll look up, and my eyes would be super low, like I was high, like I was just indulged in this book. I just wanted to know every law I needed to know. I needed to know what God liked and what he didn't like, because I had been so deceived and so unaware. So at this point, we literally just got put on the back burner. Like I didn't even think about it. Cold turkey, cold turkey. And I remember at one point as I'm going through this journey, I'm like, damn, I don't even think about weed no more. Like, did it really even do anything to me? Did I ever feel anything? Like I don't miss nothing. I don't have no withdrawals. I just put it down. Now, I'll get into how I backslid later, but literally the Most High, literally just, it was choose the Most High. Everything for me was choose the Most High. Yeah. And, you know, playing sports and all that, I think that building me self-discipline and the willpower to, I guess, abstain from certain things. So when I found out what will get me into hell, everything else didn't matter no more. It was only about serving the Father. I done lived. I done did everything wrong. It's been about me. Now it's about him. Like I'm new now. So that's what did it for me. I'm gonna get more into it, but for the most part, that's what did it for me.
It's the same. We just wait till we get into it. For me, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, straight up. All right. So, did you have anything else you want to add before I go on?
This what we had.
Okay. All right. Let me see. Where was I at? All right, so her habits became my habits. So like I said, I'm chain smoking. One time she said, she looking at me, she like, how high can you get? I mean, like, you can't get that much higher. Like, that's it. You're at the ceiling. And I'm like, pass it or hit it. Because you don't know. We get higher than we get. We get higher than we get what you mean. It's a great thing to get high. Pass it or more for me.
Yeah, dog, man.
So I'm telling you, it was crazy. So together, of course, our sin increased. You know what I mean? It multiplied because now we yoke together and we sinning in every type of aspect. Now I'm about to get into when we move. Do you want to get into do you want to say anything before we move?
Oh yeah. So what I do want to say is we started talking so much, and I had people I would text and stuff, and I just cut them all off. Because like he made me his priority, I made him my priority, and I don't even think we ever made that agreement at first. Right. We just liked each other that much. And he knew I had 2 little children, and he started to know what situation I was in. And the crazy thing is, like, my mom used to go out of town a lot. She still do, but she went out of town a lot. So when she went out of town, I couldn't go over his house. It was like during the winter months. We met in 2013. Like early November 2013. And so it was cold, snowing and stuff. And I couldn't see him. I just wanted to see him as much as possible. So during the day, I had to take them to daycare, you know, and I had them up until bedtime. My mom used to be like, put them to sleep, you know what I mean? And I'll take care of them. But when she was gone, I couldn't do that. So he ended up coming over one night, and my daughter was still up. And their biological dad had seen them earlier that day. You know, without me being there, he was cool with my family, and he gave her like $1. So when she seen him, remember, she was it was like for real. She knew he really like the Most High sent me a father to the fatherless. Okay, for real, like on earth, a man for real that step up to the plate and started raising them from a young age. Like Aaron was 3, and my son was 2. Yeah, and he wasn't even walking yet. Monte potty trained him, taught him, you know, went him through walking, all that. So, but when Aaron saw him, she was like, "Hey, what's your name?" And he was like, "Nimmo." And I was real protective, like, "Yo, sit down, come on, baby, come on." She like, "What's your name?" My mom told me, like, keep your men away from your children, you know, if you're not serious with them.
But she was in my face, huh?
Yeah, she was really like, she loved him. She's like, "You want $1?" She's like, "I got something for you." Gave him $1, and he fell in love with her. He always said he wanted a daughter. Now, mind you, back then, Monte was like, "I'm team no kids. We don't say kids no more. We call our children." But back then,
that's right.
yeah, he like, "I'm team no kids. I don't come, ejaculate in anyone." Okay. So he was like all about no children at that time. And but when he met her, he told me like he always wanted a daughter, and she cleaved to him, like didn't want to leave him. Also, for real, like want to hang out with him, talk to him all the time, like happy to see him. So I started seeing him more and going over his house more, but we try not to like smoke around him or nothing. But I mean, we're right in the other room with the door closed. But we tried not to. I'll say that. But he became like the one they looked at, especially my daughter first, because she's older, 16 months older than my son. She looked up to him more, and wanted to be around him. Did it freeze?
No.
Oh, it didn't?
No.
Okay.
You good?
Come on, we good.
Okay.
We tuned in.
Okay. All right. So go ahead, King.
Oh, okay. So all right. So boom. So we living in Missouri. You know what I mean? We doing our thing there, and then we both had aspirations to move to California.
Okay.
So you know what I mean? We plan it and we sell everything we got at our places, our TV. Like I'm selling my TV, she's selling her stuff at her mom's house, and you know what I mean? I'm transferring my job, and she, we sell everything. I remember at one point before we moved, we was at my house, we chilling. Somebody called from Craigslist. Hey, I want to buy this. Boom, they'll come buy it. Next thing you know, somebody called from Craigslist. We got to shoot over to her mom's house, sell it. Like it was crazy. We just selling. And then I remember I bought like two zips or 2 ounces of weed, right?
2 zips, 2 zones, 28 grams. Go ahead with it.
All right, so I bought 2 of them things because it's like we GPS. It says a 23-hour drive, so I'm like, you know what? I need one for every hour. You feel me? And when we stop, I need to be able to blow. You know what I'm saying? I roll up. She like, we gotta go. Like, y'all really gonna roll all this up? I'm like, yeah. By the end of it, she like, well, let me get a feel. Cause we driving separate cars, right? Cause I got some of my clothes in my car, and she got her stuff in her car. So I'm following behind her, right? So she driving. I'm smoking every hour on the hour. I mean,
this out of there.
Like this at this point, this is a match made in hell for me. You know what I mean? Like I'm driving through mountains. I ain't never seen no mountains. I ain't never seen no ocean. I'm seeing all this in high. You know what I'm saying? And so we stop in New Mexico one night. You know what I'm saying? I see New Mexico. We smoking there. I'm rolling up there. We leave. We have breakfast in the morning. We drive to Vegas first because we left Missouri earlier, like a few days earlier, because it was about to be a snowstorm coming, and we didn't want to drive in there. So we shook the spot early, and we just got some type of hotel in New Mexico. So then we get to Vegas. We're gonna stay in Vegas for like 5 days or something.
I don't even know.
It was crazy. Like we wilding. So we get to Vegas, and and I mean I'm high out my mind at this point. Okay. And we in Vegas, I'm taking videos, and we had it where the concierge would park the vehicle, right? So I'm Instagramming all this. So all the people back home, like, who they think they are? You know what I mean? They looking like we celebrities at this point. We done took the world, we done took our little community or our captive state by storm because they never seen, they ain't seen nothing like this. So anyway, I remember there was this one video where the top was off my vehicle already, and I had parked it earlier that day, or I had the concierge park it, and the concierge pulled up, and I was recording her, and she like, what happened to the top? What'd you say?
Was the top already off?
Was the top already off? Like she thought the concierge did something wrong to the vehicle and all that. but pretty much we just wilding out. I mean, showing, just trying to boast and just doing things for people to covet. Pretty much,
so y'all became. So is it safe to say y'all became like social media moguls or celebrities?
Yeah, and that's really what happened.
Yeah, social media.
One thing you did leave out at that time when we traveled, it was agreed upon. You know, my mom always was like my little crutch.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was agreed that she would keep the children until we got to Cali. I was the one, like his secretary then, which is key for the sisters.
Yeah.
I was already submitting, which a lot of sisters I'm sure can agree. You find the right man, you're gonna listen to him. You're gonna act up, you still listen to him. Anything Monte said, if I agree, you know what I mean? Not no crazy stuff. I pretty much listen to him. Like he like, yeah, I pay for the spot. You find it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'll work when I get out there. I don't mind working. You know, I came from working and money, like my own money. Not spoon fed, but I know, you know, how to work, whatever. So he like, just find a spot. At the time I had money. It was tax time came. So we used that money, you know, to leave, and all my furniture, like you said, I had furniture in my mom's house from my apartment. He had furniture too. So I'm selling my stuff, he's selling stuff. Our children stayed with my mom at the time. And so we planned it out like a whole road trip. We stayed at the Flamingo Hotel in Vegas. Like you said, the weed on the way. We in 2 separate cars. I had my own 4-door car packed up with all my stuff. And then he had his little 2-door car packed up with his stuff. And on the road trip, while he getting super high, bro, my car started tripping.
Oh yeah.
In the mountain.
In the mountains. God.
Yeah, it started stalling. Oh man.
Nice.
It started stalling. So he go, I'm like looking for him to help me fix it. I remember I texted him or something because he would text me every hour. Like, hey, time to smoke another blunt.
God, he on it. Checkpoint.
Ridiculous. Really terrible.
Yeah.
So I would do it. And I'm riding. I had my little bottle of liquor next to me with my little liquor buddy. I'm drinking, driving. Ain't nobody pull us over. The Most High is so merciful.
Man, merciful. Thank you, Father.
I call him. I'm like, I remember this so faintly. He gets out the car to take his time, get out the car, walk back to the car. I'm like, my car messing up. I'm like, what we gonna do? He like, I don't know. What you want me to do? I'm like, something. What you mean? So most I was gracious because Monte took over driving my car. And this was maybe like 4 hours out from Vegas. And we remember we hit that town where we tried to get my car fixed. This random creepy town.
That's when we was already in Vegas.
Yeah, but we was like 4 hours out when it started acting up. So you start driving.
I remember you was like at this like stop in Nevada.
Yeah.
And you was like something wrong with my car, and I remember hanging out the window like
Nevada, but not Vegas.
But then it's like you made a U-turn and made like 20 more minutes. We was at the Flamingo. Then the next day, I drove your vehicle, let you drive mine, and we drove your vehicle to that little town. They couldn't fix it. You called the people. You like, we gonna leave the car.
Well, that was after.
Yeah,
that was after. Yeah, you don't remember that part. We stopped at one, and then we was like, let's just get it parked. See, look.
Y'all see the history, don't it?
Yeah.
Y'all see the history within the union.
Yes.
So
we kicking it there. It was crazy. Like you said, start blowing up on social media. And so we got to California, San Diego at that time. We were planning San Diego because I'd already went to high school there. I already knew the area, I thought. And he wanted, like you said, he wanted to go to California too. Yeah.
So eventually we get to California. We're living there. I'm introduced to dispensaries now. So now it's on a whole nother level. Palm trees. Well, I was saying the palm trees in Vegas, but now I'm living among the palm trees.
Yeah.
It's sunny. I'm like, yeah, this is the life. I remember I had transferred my job, but I was hearing so much about it. You can make more money at car dealerships. So I left that job or just didn't go back to that job or something like that. And I went to try to work at a dealership. It didn't really work out because we was in so much mode of partying and sinning and just trying to have a good time.
Yeah.
That to the point the spirit of sluggardness crept in.
Oh.
So all the hard working kind of went out the door because I just wanted to be like, I guess the music started influencing me also to be like just a like a beach bum or something like
it's
that.
because of a beach bum.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? I wasn't working as hard, and like I said, the spirit of sluggardness came up. So eventually we failed at California. It's because by the time I realized what was happening, bills wasn't getting paid, furniture that we made deals on was getting paid, all this stuff.
Man.
Cable was getting paid for and all this.
Car payments not
getting paid. It was like it was too late because the jobs we was getting jobs, but they were not sufficient enough. They couldn't satisfy any part of our lifestyle at all. It was like jobs that wasn't giving enough income.
And you was having the checks too. Remember, he told me then, I told him he could just have my checks. I'll work. You have my checks, you pay the bills. That's something key because that was already instilled in me, you know. And he was like, I ain't never had no life like this where woman just give me her money. You know what I mean? Not all of it, but at that time, I was down.
Come, all praises. Pay attention to this. So
Yeah.
the submission kicked in early. Go ahead, King. So
it did though. It did. And all right, so another big thing while we're in California, now in Missouri, we didn't go to church together. Matter of fact, I don't even think I went to church on my own. Yeah, I didn't go to church in Missouri. But for some reason, I don't really remember. I don't even remember us conversating about our beliefs. I don't ever remember conversating about my beliefs with anybody, for real.
Man.
You know what I mean? But somehow we found a church in California. It was basically a mega church.
Yeah.
And we would go on Sundays, and I don't even know how we ended up there. I don't even remember how we said, "Hey, let's go to church." You know what I mean? But we found our own church. Obviously, there's no parents around. It's just us two, and we go. And I remember one day, one key thing about my journey is that while we're still in California, I made a note in my phone, like I was writing to the Most High. It was like dear God or something. And basically, in this letter to the Most High, I said something along the lines that every time people see me, I want them to see the Most High. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to glorify everything else. And also, is it wrong for me to want to have everything in the world? At the time, I didn't know. Yeah, it's wrong for you to want to have everything in the world. But this is what I asked them. And this is what I said. And I said, when people see me, I want them to see you. I will not be ashamed to display the Most High. But guess what? After the little note, after the little sentimental time with him, I went on to posting more debauchery, posting more lascivious posts with me and her. And when I say lascivious, I'm talking about like posts that shouldn't be out there. You know what I mean? And, you know, continue on uplifting wickedness, continue on exalting and glorifying weed and every sin that this possibly is. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Now, do you want to add anything before we go back to Missouri?
Oh yeah, we ended up. When we went out there, we had a 1-bedroom, and the way we even found the church is because I had in my head like, hey, we should have a church home. The children are coming, and I want a real stability. You know, I want stability. I want them to, you know, have their own bedrooms and stuff. So we ended up moving into a townhome. It was like $2,600 a month, too much for us to afford, and we ended up moving from there before the children came into another apartment. And we were there for some months before we ended up moving back to Missouri. But when we was there, I was working mostly, and Monte was staying home with the children, with our son. But with our daughter would go to work with me because the job I had allowed me to bring my daughter to work, you know, and they had like a little daycare center where the babies could go, you know, right there at work. It was like a call center. So anyway, it got bad where finances was wrong. What he has not touched on is domestic violence with both of us. He was very he had anger and I had anger. That was one of the things I liked with him. I always say this though. With me and him, it was always either extremely happy, like extremely like best friends, or extremely like I hate you, like terrible, you know, like that's why I say toxic. You know, that was demonic love. That's not right.
Man,
You
man.
know, yeah, it was toxic.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, he would run
Man.
in front of cars.
Yeah.
Trying to, say he gonna take his life if I don't know, leave him because I don't call him texting chicks in Kansas City. I catch him on some nonsense. And I'm mad about it because I didn't think he would do nothing like that. I thought he was different. But as I always tell sisters, like, what did you do wrong? And that's why I tell myself, I did a lot wrong. And the Most High is not mocked. You feel me? He going to repay you. Vengeance is his. Don't think you're going to get off. I ain't get off. No, I got into another messy mess. But praise Most High for his mercy on us together. Yeah. So, we had a lot of arguments and fights. They weren't terrible. I ain't gonna say it was every day, but when it happened, it was like terrible. And I will say that I was the one, that woman in Proverbs, that you just don't even want to deal with because she talks so much, just argue so much. Once I found out he cheated once, I just strained that over his head, just over and over and over and over. Just every time I feel like he fell short on one little thing, I'll tear him down. That's why I'm big on automatically. I don't feel like a sister should have an excuse these days. You know what I mean? And any sin that I did, I'm not even worthy to even, the Most High to even forgive me. So I try to build him up. And all my brothers, as much as possible, in all righteousness and truth. I sincerely mean it, because I didn't have no idea that I was backwards. I'm thinking, this feminist society, you supposed to be as strong as the man and don't let no man do this, don't let no man do that. And it started off cool, Of course, he had his own sin, but we both was messed up. You know what I mean? So what we should be doing is supporting each other. And we were meant to be a help me, meaning to help him meet his needs, not tell him how to do it and boss on him, like, and then go tell people like, yeah, he hit me. Like, but what did you do? Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I might have smacked him upside his head a few times, called him all type of names. And ran up on him. I already knew if anybody was stronger than me, I knew he was the one that was really stronger than me. And if I got him angry, it was no stopping him. It was no turning him off. I would hate getting him mad. For real, I hated it. So I'm so happy we don't have that life no more. But I just wanted to say that because, that is needed to glorify the Most High because, like you said, King, people don't talk about this. People don't talk about the rawness of our past. We can't forget how far the Most High really brought us. We ain't just walking the truth when I'm righteous, I wear dresses and I cover my hair. No, it ain't happening like that. At all.
Hey, talk to him. Oh, praises.
Yeah.
So like, let me go back real quick.
Yeah.
When the Ak made mention of wanting the world. All right, so I'm in James chapter 4, verse 4. It says, ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? Yeah. Whosoever therefore would be a friend of the world is the enemy of the Most High. That's right. So if we seeking to be friends, the Ak been leveled up, so he know this. The sis know this. Amber, they both know this. But for those who may not, when we trying to make amends with the world, to blend in with the world, to be a part of the system of Babylon and everything that's going on right now, you become an enemy to the Most High. Yeah. We don't want to be enemies to the one who created everything. Right. Come on. All right, King. I'm ready.
That's deep. That's deep.
Yes. That's a great point.
Man. All right. So, like I said, we failed at California. So I contacted my old boss, the one I used to get money with. You know what I mean? Like I said, I was able to level up and get all those things, all the materialistic things. So I hit him up, let him know I'm coming back. He like, all right, just hit me when you get back. We'll figure it out in the system and get you back working. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we pack up the vehicle and we on our way. But of course, I had to take some weed with me. So I can't smoke at this time though, because I got to go back and take a drug test. So I'm just drinking water, but I got the weed in the back. So I got the California stuff now. So when I pull back up on the scene, everybody gonna want this. You know what I'm saying? I done came all the way from California with it. So I'm talking about we got heck of it. I'm talking, I don't know, over ounces. Probably not a pound, but as much as I could pack and how much as we could buy. Couldn't pay the bills, but I made sure I was gonna invest in this, right? So anyway, so here's another thing right here. So we pulling up, we driving, we get into Kansas, right?
So we drove hours on hours.
Like I drove like 23 hours straight, no stop. Well, I did Vegas. Actually, I gambled a little bit. We ain't talking about the gambling. When we was in Vegas, we was literally sitting next to each other at the blackjack table, right? I mean, I'm talking about, bro, I don't know who we thought we was. We were sitting at the blackjack table, just us at the table. She's sitting on one end, I'm sitting on the other. I remember we walked in, I can remember like now, like it was like a James Bond movie. Like we walked in too cool, right? We go to the table. We go to the table and it's just me, her, and the dealer. We just made it back to back. I don't know how much we walked there with. She stopped first, and I mean she would win. We would both win on the same table, and we could look at each other and smile and keep playing. Just keep playing. Now I remember she tapped out first. Like, I know to stop playing when I get all the way ahead like this. I'm like, shit. I'm gonna keep going. Life's a gamble. What you talking about? So I think I lost like one time. I'm like, yep, that's it. That's it. That's all I need. You know what I mean? And we walked there, so we gambling, we doing all that. But anyway, so fast forward, we leave in California, but Vegas is there first. She done fell asleep because she took an edible and she knocked out.
The children already back in Missouri.
Yeah, the children are already back in Missouri. They rode with her parents. So just me and her.
Yeah. And
they flew. So I stopped in Vegas. I'm like, I'm a gamble a little bit, you know what I'm saying, real quick, get my mind right. So I go in there. I think I gamble. I think I win a little bit. I don't remember losing. I come back to the car. She's still asleep. She didn't even know I got out the car, the park, gambled, all that. Anyway, so I think I tell her like 2 days later when we in Missouri. But anyways, so we driving. I'm smashing through. I'm just in cruise control, only stopping for gas. That's it. And when we stop for gas, she'll wake up, pee, go back to sleep. This edible to knock her the heck out.
Yeah.
It had her sleep, man, crazy. Man. So anyways, so we get to Kansas. I see the cherries and berries behind me. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm like, oh, my heart dropped. I got all this weed in the car.
Man.
But I'm definitely, I'm probably about to go to jail right now for I don't know how long. So he pulled me over. He like, you ain't got no tags on your car. I'm like, yeah, I'm going back to Missouri right now to get it straight. We driving from California because I couldn't get, I fabricate some story that kind of was the truth. And he ain't checked the car. He just gave me some petty ticket or something. I don't remember what it was for. I think it was for no tag. So I'm like, it ain't no praise the Most High. I don't remember what I said. But right there, I could have been in jail for, I could have got probably lost in the system. So fast forward, we make it home. So we staying with my mom's at this time because we told her about the hard times. She like, you can come back, stay with us. So I'm staying with her. We staying there until I get disrespectful. I think, did I lay hands on my mom? I think she did something, and I actually put my hands on my mama. And it was because of her children or something. And I put my hands on my mama, and it was a big fight. Cops got called, so basically I got kicked out, and I started acting and I started carrying myself like my mom had died, like I was done with her. I had nothing to talk about with her. So of course, you know what the script say: disobedience to parents happened in the last days. And but what the Most I say, honor your parents, right? I ain't care about that.
So real quick to bring it out. Because I know it's similar in both of y'all story or y'all testimonies, where you've been converted, you've been transformed.
Yes, sir.
But for those who may be battling with something like that to, attempt to lay hands on your parents or whatnot, we're gonna get what the book say about that. So the Most High had mercy; He imparted mercy to both souls. Yeah. All right. So Exodus 21, verse 15, and it says, "And he that smiteth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death. All right, so
Ooh.
that right there is a sin or a transgression that's worthy for you to be killed behind. But the
Yeah.
Most High have mercy, all right, in our ignorance. He said he winked at our ignorance. He
Yeah.
desired not for any soul to be destroyed, to be
Praise
killed,
the
to
Most
be
High.
punished, to be, you know, sentenced to hell fire. But
Right.
all praise to the Most High. Come. But this is the raw though. You know
This
what I mean?
Yeah.
is.
So some can relate to that. We
Yep.
battling in our households with our parents. We
That's
mad
right.
at our parents about certain things,
That's right.
or not even mad, just spoiled, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, but the Most High is gracious. All praises to the Most High. Come,
Yep. Praise the Most High that Christ came down.
man. All praises.
Yeah.
Man, so obviously we get kicked out of there. So now, in between time, I'm working at my the retail job. I'm getting the hourly checks. I'm working open to close. We
Mm,
new deals is coming out, new promotions. So my checks is fatter than ever. Like
mm,
I mean, I done took it to a whole nother level. I mean, the managers making emails about me about how good I am and all this stuff. Like I mean, let's say for instance, our sales goal was 30 new activations because we selling phones. We're dealing with phones.
okay.
30 new activations, bro. I'm selling 100 new activations.
God,
Struggling.
job,
Everybody else struggling to hit 30. But
man.
my mind is money is the motive, success is the focus. I'm all about it. You know, I'm open to close. They barely want to work their regular 9 to 6, but I'm
Mm,
there from 7 a.m. to like 10 p.m. and just go
mm,
hard. Like people come to the door. Sometimes people, the sales rep, they go to the back. Nah, I'm at the door. I want you. Come on. I don't care what you need. You have a problem with your phone? I'm turning that into some type of profit for myself. You know what I
man.
mean? Some people they'll say, "Oh, somebody come in like, hey, I got a problem. My phone needs to see a technician," and they'll be like, "Oh man, it's just a fix." I'm like, bro, check the account, see what kind of promotion they got. Like, I would work that customer. It didn't matter who it was, and
Mm,
I was just getting to it, right? So
mm-hmm.
the money stacking up is stacking up, and the plan is to get back to California, get up out of here. In the meantime, disrespect to my mom, so we get kicked out. I'm staying at a hotel. We staying at an extended stay, so I'm paying for the extended stay
Mm,
for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
I see the old chicks I used to mess with, exes and all that. They somehow winding up at the store. I don't even know if they know I'm in town, but somehow I run across them. Of course, I sin. Of course, I'm lying, cheating, deceiving.
mm,
Um, of course, I'm lying to them, cheating, deceiving them. I'm also selling the weed that I brought back from California. Like I'm taking it to higher rates.
Mm.
So all this, I'm dealing falsely with my neighbor. I'm lying one to another. I'm breaking all kind of laws. I'm disowning my mom. All that. And
Mm.
yeah. Let me
Yeah.
see. Oh,
come.
I went to jail twice in like what was
Mm,
that 5 months? Went to jail twice. So one night, we driving. We in a white neighborhood one night. This one we was staying with my mom, and we're driving again. My tags ain't right on the car, but we had to go to the store for something. So the cop see me. He pulled me over. We actually had paraphernalia in the car and like maybe less than an ounce of weed in the car.
mm-hmm.
So they pulled me. You know, they put me in the cuffs, put me in the car, took me to the holding cell, stayed in there probably for like not even the whole night because they came and got me. Got
Mm,
the bail money. So I get out of that, got to call the lawyer, got to pay tickets. So it's taken away from the fund, but it's not really taking that much because I'm making so much at the same time. Then we staying at the hotel. The second time I go to jail is because we got into an argument on our anniversary. We were supposed to be going out, but I walked out the hotel and I had like you know how you drinking out the phone cup, right? It
mm-hmm.
had a top on the foam cup with a straw, but I had like a half an ounce of weed in it. And
Mm,
I walked to the gas station. I didn't want to drive my car for some reason because of the tags, and I was hot anyway. So and I was tipsy too, probably drunk. So I walked to the gas station, but to get to the gas station, I had to walk on the shoulder of the highway. It's
mm,
dark though, so I get to the gas station, get some swishers. I roll up in the bathroom of the gas station, leave the gas station. I done smoked and everything. All I got in my hand is a foam cup, and the cop pulled up on the shoulder of the road as I'm walking back to the hotel. Cherries and
mm,
berries, whoop whoop. I'm like, what do I do now? So they pull up on me. He's like, why are you on the shoulder road? I'm like, I'm trying to get back to the hotel. I had to go to the gas station. I'm just trying to go back to the hotel. So they asked me my name. Now remember, I got pulled over in Kansas, but since I didn't go to jail, I forgot about the petty ticket he gave me. So they run my name. He's like, I'll give you a ride to the hotel. Let me just get your name. So I give him my name and run it. Next thing you know, another cop pull up. I'm like, oh, what happened now? Next thing you know, they put the cuffs on your boy. And I had dropped the cup. The cup was on the ground. But they opened the cup. They say, damn, why can't you just leave the cup alone? They seen it. So then they took me to jail. Now this time, they wasn't letting me out easy. So I'm in there for like days, bro. And it's just Amber at the house. I got all the money in my car. The hotel, I mean. Yeah. I got all the money in the car. And I'm calling her. I'm calling my brother. I'm actually in there now. Like, I'm in the cells with these dudes. And I'm talking to these dudes. And they don't even know when they getting out. They don't know their court dates. They don't know nothing. I'm like, you can really get lost in here. They ain't know nothing. Dudes like, they don't know how long they've been in there. And they have petty crimes too. And I'm like, bro, you're not trying to get out. Like, they like, we are. We just basically stuck. I'm like, oh, no, I got to get up out of here. I can't be in here. So I'm calling her. I'm calling my brother. She done called, who you call the general what?
The attorney general.
She done called the attorney general. They like, he's a menace to society. We ain't trying to let him out. I'm like, I'm a menace to society. I didn't do nothing. I said, because at this point, I'm making a claim like, I use, this is medical marijuana. I need it because I got a medical license. Like, this is medical. And they like, we don't care. Kansas is a no tolerance state. We in Kansas at this time. I'm in the jail. So anyway, praise the Most High. Finally, they got. So I come up out of there, and I gotta go see a lawyer. The lawyer like, you gotta pay this much money. So I pay the money to get out of jail free card and pay the money to get out the state. So I paid the money I had to pay to the lawyer. I finished working. I shipped the cars off. We get on a plane. We go back to California. You want to add?
No, I think you know that well.
All right.
Yeah.
So check it. With everything, I think we got a nice spectrum of what the past was like. Okay. So at what point in the walk was the truth introduced to each one of you?
Okay.
That's what. Are you gonna go?
Yeah. So all right. So we cut to the chase. So we go back to California. We live our sinful life. Sins increase, right? And eventually, as worldly couples sometimes do, we break up. We in Long Beach this time, not San Diego. So she leaves. I mean, because like she said, it was domestic violence, hatred, vengeful actions. We hated each other, loved each other, hated each other, loved each other, and eventually got to a point where we both agreed that we should break up. It was not like, I'm leaving you. No, it was like, we leaving each other. I'm done with you. I'm done with you. I'm done with you. And she gone. So she leaves. Where you go?
I went to Texas. The children went home with my mom. And this is after us living in Long Beach being secure. Okay, so you see in the rough road. Yeah. There was secure finances, everything in Long Beach, California, on the ocean for like 3 years. Yeah. And so this 2017, we decided to break up. So I moved to Texas because I had a weave business, a hair weave business, selling hair weave. And I got in my mind, I'm going to sell hair weave. I'm going to be a business owner. I could do better than him. I'm done. So I go to Texas. Yeah. I'm in Texas. And I really started feeling. Now, my testimony, I don't want to go into all that. It's on my page, on my YouTube channel, Amina. It's real in depth on how the Most High, how I had a spiritual encounter. But I'm going to give like a little brief so we don't spend too much more time. But I remember, like, I used to wear a lot of makeup. I was really, really deep into the world, long weave down on my hip. And I remember looking at myself in the mirror in my apartment in Texas, like, this is cakey. Like, I felt fake. I was unhappy. I was miserable, really miserable. It just hit me. And I called my elder, my grandma, my granny. And I just asked her like what to do, because to me that's all I like. She was in the church, so I asked her like, what do I do? You feel me? And she's like, you know, Satan is the most subtle beast in the field, and you really need to pray for the spirit of discernment and pray for what to do next, something like that. So I remember I had my praise dance uniform still, and I got my praise dance uniform on. I praise danced, and I was listening to like some old school jams, and I remember the gospel just came on. I really don't remember because I was chain weed smoking for like 2 weeks, barely eating. I didn't understand what fasting was at that time. But I barely eating, you know what I mean? I was so depressed, seriously depressed. And I called him. He was trying to get off the phone quick with me. I was mad at him because what he was posting on his Twitter. And he didn't care. He wanted to get off the phone. My mom couldn't talk. She had the children at the time because they was going to come out. I tried to do the same old move. You know, she kept them for a little bit and they was going to come stay with me in Texas. Well, that lasts literally all of 2 weeks. She convinced me, you know, come back home. I started praying to the Most High. I remember getting on my knees and telling him, like, whatever you want me to do, Father, just tell me I will do it. I promise I'll change my life. I don't want to be this person no more. I'm not happy who I am. I felt like a whole different character. Because keep in mind, like, he didn't really talk about the makeup, weave, and all that. It's on Amina YouTube, but I didn't really wear all that until I went to, you know, California, you know. And the second, when we went together, because I felt like I was at competition to even keep him. You know what I mean? So I started wearing makeup, weave. I didn't even feel like myself without it. I was so engulfed in that demonic force. You know what I mean? I was really leading myself to hell, you know, for real. But you know, the beauty in it is that the Most High literally heard my prayer, my cry. I didn't know I was fasting, because the very next day, I kid you not, the prayer was exactly what my granny told me to pray for. She said, pray for discernment. I didn't call him Abba at that time. Father, give me the spirit of discernment. God, help me. I need the spirit of discernment. Tell me what to do next. And I felt it like I need to go back home. My mom was convincing me, you got diseases. I'll take care of you. You don't have to work. You know, you're making yourself stressed. I'll take care of you once you get on the bus back home. So she got me a bus ticket to go home. So the very next day is when I started, this is going to sound so crazy, but I started feeling the spiritual realm. I started feeling conviction. I knew that it was wrong to be a liar. It was just in my spirit. I got to admit all the lies I've been telling. I got to stop gossiping. I got to stop wearing makeup. That wasn't really immediate, but I knew I was done with it. I'm going to have to stop smoking weed. I'm gonna have to stop drinking. And I had already stopped drinking a little bit before that, like a few weeks. I couldn't afford it. I ran out of my money. Like my life was this was mercy for me, because everything, all that nonsense was coming to an end. You know, when you run in circles, it's how I felt spiritually. Like every day is like, I'm not happy, I'm sad, just like the curses say in the Bible, Deuteronomy 28. I'm not kidding. So on the bus, I was meeting people on the bus, and I remember I was listening to like classical music, which I still to this day listen to sometimes to keep me calm, or, you know, stay in the spirit and not let anything affect me. And I was thinking things in my head like, yeah, I'm not gonna gossip no more. I'm not gonna lie to nobody no more. I'm gonna really be changed. And I started looking at billboards, and it seemed like my thoughts was being answered by billboards. I thought I was crazy, for real, but I knew that I was serious. I was genuine about the Most High, for real. I was calling him God. I want to follow God. I'm gonna be godly and all this stuff. So I get back. My mom and my stepdad picked me up from the train station after all these hours of riding on the train, and I started. The radio was answering my thoughts. I don't know how to explain it. Again, the whole testimony, I had to pray and fast to even give the testimony, is on my YouTube channel. But the Most High pretty much came to me. How I look at it now, maybe it was an angel of the Lord that came to me, but I knew 100% fact that I was talking to God. I called him God. I knew it was God. He came through human vessels, but he showed me like Are you ready? These were key
Mm,
phrases he kept saying. Are you ready? Do you
mm,
trust me? He
mm,
told me, I've been seeking you. I've been seeking you. And I'm like, you've been seeking me? How you
mm,
seeking me and you God? It didn't make sense to me, but I was excited because he seemed nice. When I say he seemed nice, his spirit was very calm. He was coming through
mm,
my mom. He was
mm,
very calm, and my mom talked very, very fast. I knew it wasn't her. It was him. The way he looked, like the light beaming, all of it was him. And they, like you said on that spiritual thing, y'all's conversation, they equated to bipolar disorder. Like, oh, Amber got bipolar. She crazy. She's saying she see God. Real talk, the Most High showed me that we are in a big test. That's what he showed me. I started seeing demonic forces and him. And he was
mm,
telling me, I'm going to teach you how to talk to me. And I'm like, I don't know if I can talk to you. I'm kind of scared. And I was lying to him. Like, I'm ready to follow you. But I really wasn't. And he kept telling me I'm lying. I'm like, I'm not lying. How do I even tell the truth? He
mm,
telling me like basically I needed a new heart. You feel me? And I remember my mom touched me. She don't remember it the same way. This is how I remember it. She touched me, but it was the Most High telling me, don't forget this feeling. And it was like a powerful feeling that went through my body. And he kept showing me Monte, like Monte had to be my husband. And Monte at this time was in California, living his own life.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm fornicating. I'm in idolatry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm smoking. I'm drinking. I'm watching porn. I'm just.
We against each other.
Yeah. We ain't
We
gonna talk.
really enemies.
Yeah.
So I made in my mind, I'm about to just give all this up for the
Mm-hmm.
Most High. I seen the Most High. When I seen him, hey, nobody take it serious. He took my breath away. My heart started tripping. I could have died right then. He showed me what the scriptures say. Now I ain't read no word. Then it was just spiritual. That he could take me. He could take me. You know what I mean? Just if no man has seen the Most High, because he could do that.
Yeah.
I just had the encounter with my spirit. Our souls connected.
Yeah.
And I knew it was time for me to let everything go. That's what he kept telling me, like, are you ready to follow me? It went on about 2 weeks. I was in a spiritual state where I could hear demonic forces chasing me, trying to
mm,
talk to me. I was scared.
mm,
But every time I would pray and call God, I would just say, God, I felt comforted. And he would have me listen to gospel music. I was so isolated to myself. And it came around what they call Mother's Day in the world. Monte hit me up, but I was already like, I'm cool. I ain't talking to nobody else. I'm celibate. I knew that word. I'm celibate. I ain't sleeping with nobody ever again in my life. I don't want to tell nobody nothing bad I did. Everybody wicked. I'm cool. And everybody like, God is pure and everybody's evil. And I'm done. And he ended up coming to Missouri for his brother's graduation.
All right, so wait. Let me hit this.
All right.
All right, so as she going through this spiritual experience, on my side of town, I'm all the way in California, it was like Proverbs 4:16 for me, where I could not sleep unless I did some type of mischief.
Yeah.
So, man, now somewhere in this, while she going through her thing, I'm still going to church. I'm walking to church, and I'm like, man, yeah, dear God, I don't really, I'm a really selfish person. I don't really know what I'm about to do is right. What I was talking about was tithing. I was about to step it up. I never tithed before.
Yeah.
So I'm about to step it up. I'm about to start tithing because I feel like that's the next step, I guess, in Christianity. So I was like, but, if it's not right or something like that, please show me or something like that. Basically, guide my steps. So next thing I know, I think I started tithing just a little bit, right? Doing what I could. All right. So then, like she said, I came back to Missouri. I came to Missouri for my brother's graduation. She knew I was coming because his graduation was there. So I hit her up and I talked to, she finally, she didn't really want to see me, but eventually I was able to see her. So I seen her and, she telling me about the experience that she met God, she celibate and all this stuff. I'm like, oh, well, good for you. Because in my mind, I'm already cool with God. I only get angry if somebody push me. I'll be in the corner store like, hey, God, you got some type of...
a brief moment, the yawn. So like,
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
this live stream.
To the conclusion. We getting to the end, folks. Somebody said, I pray Elohim every day. Said, how long have y'all been together?
Total of 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jesse said, powerful testimony. All praises to the Most High.
All praises to the Most High. Bless you.
Judas Alliance said, Bruce Leroy, I got that spiritual glow. All praises to the Most High. Yeah, we got to check on them babies. Praise the Most High. That you cognizant of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 is a good number. Yeah, I pray to the Most High. We need them to keep us.
Yes, all praise to the Most High. Bless you.
All right.
Come
on.
So,
I'm listening, King.
No problem. All right. So pretty much I seen her. She telling me about all the spiritual actions that happened. And like I said, I'm like, oh, well, good for you. You know what I mean? Because I'm cool with God. I've been cool with God because, I'll be in the corner store and I'll be like, God, I could steal this right now. But since I know you're real, I'm not going to steal it. I have the mindset that only, atheists, serial killers, those are the ones that go to hell, not people like me. I mean, and people that, actually denounce Christ or something like that. But, you know what I mean? From what I assumed of the Most High is that all your sins are forgiven. I also knew that once I got married to someone, I would never cheat. So that adultery or having sex before wedlock, that would be over with, So I always knew I would grow to a point where I would be, better than what I already was. And I, made oaths in my mind. Like we had a Bible that I think we stole from a hotel, but we had a Bible on like right under the TV, and I will say things as I'm smoking, like I'm gonna read that Bible one day, and keep smoking and go on my life and never pick it up. But I used to say stuff like that, you know what I mean? Because you start to kind of, I guess when you're younger, you have this type of mindset that you're gonna get old one day. These things you do are gonna get old, and you're gonna have more free time, and that's when you can really chill with God, I guess. I don't know. So pretty much that's what's going on my side of town. So I see her. I'm like, yeah, I'm only in town for a few days, though. Yeah, I know you said you celibate. I know that's always been on lock. Again, I'm still prideful, still high-minded. And I'm like, if you're trying to do something, let me know. And I'm being Mr. Smooth, trying to be all up on her. And she totally different. She more meek. She just seemed different, But at this time, I really didn't perceive nothing. I'm just like, whatever. So I leave Missouri, I go back to California, and I start acting cold because, of course, the book say, the love of many shall wax cold. You're not close to me. You ain't really trying to do nothing. You all the way out there. But sometimes I will listen to her. Sometimes I'll communicate with her. I'll have free time for her. And I remember at one point she told me, she was like, God said that everything you're doing is in vain. I'm like, huh? What else God say then? And she telling me all these things that God was saying, and she was asking questions, and it was like the TV would answer, or she'll say something like, I wonder, am I supposed to do this? And then all of a sudden, when she'll hear one of her children be like, yes, duh. And then she'd be like, what? And he'd be like, are you talking to me? And then the TV be like, yes, you. And I'm like, dang, this was happening. So when she told me God said these things about me, I start changing I start following what she's saying because I'm believing it. So she like, God said you need to delete basically all your pictures on Instagram. They're all vain. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna call you back. Boom. Get on Instagram.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I start deleting them,
Yeah, that
and
was
I'm
really
like,
crazy.
okay, I'm just gonna leave this much. So I call her back. I was like, check it out. Tell me what God said now. So this is how I'm moving, because I'm like, hey, I'm talking to somebody that can talk directly to God for me. Like,
that,
you know what I mean? But it wasn't really like that, because there's certain things I was asked and she wouldn't have the answer. So I knew she wasn't just jerking my chain. You know what I mean? She wasn't like, God said, you need to get me a ring and marry me right now. Nah, she was telling me like things like that. At this point, neither one of us in the book. So one day during this journey, I'm like, man, I'm gonna go on a journey this weekend. I'm gonna go on a voyage. I'm gonna just, because we lived on the beach, so I'm still living on the beach. I'm gonna just walk out on the sand. I'm just gonna walk the sand till I can walk no more. I'm gonna pack some sandwiches and I'm gonna have some pre-rolls, and I'm gonna just go and just chill. You know, just do something I've never done, like go on what they call it, a hike, pretty much. And during this same week, I'm prepping and I'm getting prepared for my idol worship. I was big into, like I said, basketball. So I had my chicken, I had everything. I had my weed ready, about to go congregate with all the other fellow idol worshipers downstairs in our apartment complex, right? And as I'm going upstairs, I'm high, whatever. I'm going upstairs to put my chicken in the oven. I'm literally, like, my whole existence was this. So I'm putting the chicken in the oven. Boom, I get a text message. And the text is her. And she sent me a video that said, remember the Sabbath day, keep it holy. And I'm like, the Sabbath day? What is that? Never heard of the Sabbath day. Now remember, I was at vocational Bible school. Supposedly the 10 Commandments was taught to your boy. But the Sabbath day, never heard the word, don't recall the word, never heard nothing about it. So it's this brother named Brother Yerushalayim. I don't know if you know him, but it was Brother Yerushalayim. So he break it down where you can't, like, I don't know how you're going to reject it. So I'm watching it, and I turn it on, and our attention span ain't that long. But for some reason, I was supposed to go back downstairs and kick it with the people while my chicken baking for like 30 minutes. But I didn't go back downstairs. I actually sat on the counter, and I was just immersed in this video and just shocked at what he was bringing out. So anyway, the chicken oven go off, the video go off at the same time. I don't know what I really thought about it at this point, but I went on with my idol worship. So she hit me up later on the week. Now remember, I told you I was going to go on a journey. So I had already prepped these sandwiches, peanut butter sandwiches, and I understood what he said the Sabbath was. So I was like, I'm going to keep it next week. Not this week, but next week, because I got something to do this week. But next week, I'll try it out. So she called me, and it's about to be sundown. She like, hey, you keeping the Sabbath? We going to keep the Sabbath. I'm like, I walk out into the kitchen, and I'm like, what I got to do again? I just got to sit back, relax. I guess I could watch some more of his videos. I already got food prep. All right, I'm going to just keep it. Yeah, I'm going to keep it too. So she like, okay, cool. So we get off the phone. Bro, I keep the Sabbath day. I'm watching the videos about pork, Christmas, this, that, and the other. Yeah. After that, bro, I was breaking down. I'm snotting. I'm crying. I'm like, why nobody ever told me this? I got to tell everybody. Bro, it got to the point where I felt like the Bible had just been discovered. Like, people ain't know about this book. And it's been for years. I mean, it got to a point I was going crazy. I'm like, I'm going to church some more. I'm going to tell the pastor because he don't know about this. Like, what's going on? Right? After that, after I get done watching videos, I'm crying, I'm hurting. I pick up the book of Matthew. And I'm like, I'm about to just read this whole thing right now. Like, I got to change right now. I got to do something right now. So I read Matthew. I probably understood nothing. But I remember after the sun went down and the Sabbath was over in my mind, I remember I used to work out a lot. So I remember walking to the gym, and I knew life had changed and nothing would be the same. And I remember that night when I ran on the beach, everything was just so big and I was so little. And I felt like the ocean could just overtake me. And at any point, I felt like the Most High was literally like just over me, and like he could just swallow me up. And I remember going back upstairs, my roommate, because I had a roommate at this time, he watching TV, and I just started seeing things on the TV, and I'm like, damn, everything's a lie. It was kind of like that movie, I think it's called They See Us or something, where he sees all the billboards and it's saying like obey, but other people are saying, the other thing. That's how it was for me. Like, I'm starting watching, I'm smoking. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, now prior to this, I had a bad trip. My roommate came home with this edible, and he like, hey, I got this strong edible. Like, I don't know if you should even have it. Blah blah blah, talking stuff. I'm like, bro, please. So I take the edible, and I have this trip where I start feeling like everything, nothing meant nothing. Everything was nothing. What if there's no God? I felt like this was the devil's last stand when I look back on it. Because he was submitting thoughts like, what if there's no God? What if this? What happens when you really die? Like all these crazy things that was overwhelming me and making me like fearful. Like my heart was racing. I was having anxiety I never had before. And all I wanted to do was just go to sleep. And then I woke up, and it was a feeling I've never ever felt before. And I know it had to be, if the devil knew what was about to happen, it had to be his last stand, because he had me thinking some crazy stuff like, dang, there ain't no God. Well, what happens when we really die? We living for nothing. Like all kind of things. Nothing is nothing. It was crazy stuff, bro. But then I found the Sabbath day. Praise the Most High for the angel. She sent it to me. And after I kept the Sabbath, that was it, bro. Everything changed. I was like, I need to leave California. Told my mom. I went back home, started walking it out. I was a total different son. I was respectful. I was meek. She watched me keep the Sabbath. She watched me read the Bible from front to back. She watched everything about me change. My clothes changed, bro. Like I'm like, I can't wear no graven images. I started cutting the horses off of my polo shirts. I didn't want nothing to do with the world at all. I was like, I'm going to be. Then what made it even crazier, I found a scripture that said, let thy garments always be white. So I'm like, oh yeah, all my garments is white then. I'm doing everything I can in this book. I start telling my pals, I'm like, hey y'all, we gotta keep these laws. They like, the law done away with. I'm like, the law done, how you even know this? Like, what do you mean? Because I never heard the term law. I never knew what the Jews or the people of the Bible were. I never heard none of these terms. I didn't know God had a chosen people. I didn't know about the Sabbath. I'm telling them about it, and they know all about it. They like, oh yeah, that's done away with. They start scoffing, talking about something. Are you gonna start? You know that there's laws that you gotta stone. There's laws that you gotta you're gonna start. What about the animals? You gonna start sacrificing animals? I'm like, well, shit, yeah. I guess I'm gonna have to get a farm, and I'm gonna start. If I gotta sacrifice animals, that's what I'm gonna do. Because I'm not all the way through the Bible yet. So I'm like, if I gotta sacrifice animals, is that what God wants? I'll leave this world behind. I'll work to get in a farm, and I'm gonna do that. Whatever this book say, I'm gonna do. I ain't seen weed yet. I ain't seen that type of stuff, but I already put it down. I put down fornication to the point I was so merged in this book, bro. I used to go to Pornhub every day, every night. Never ever went back to the website. All the things that I was doing that was filling a void were all gone. The holding on to my stepdad's death at that crossroad, I left it right there. I walked on, and I was free from that. I was free from so much sin, bro, with just turning to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And it was just amazing to me. But like I said, I would tell people, and they act like they already knew. And I'm like, y'all tripping. They like, wait till you get to the New Testament. Wait till you get to the New Testament. I get to the New Testament. I'm saying that Mashiach said, keep my commandments. I'm like, yes. I get to Paul. He's saying, do we make void the law? No, we uphold the law. Then the next one, like, something law. But Paul was confusing me, but I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna keep going. I don't understand it, but I'm keep going. I get to 1 John. I get to Romans. I get to the Revelation. Last page say, blessed are those that keep my commandments. I'm like, I don't know what Paul's talking about, but I'm keeping these commandments. I'm keeping these laws. Ain't no difference. So that's how it happened for me. You want to say more about what happened with you before we got together? Because at this point, we still separated. But, we back in the same town. I'm seeing her. At this point, she my sister. I done found out the word op. So I'm calling her. I'm like, what's up, op? I ain't had nobody else. I was like, what's up, op? She like, I'm not an op. I'm like, what you mean? What's up, op? We finding words like shalom, shalom. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm going through the phase of trying to find the right music. I remember going back. I remember going back listening to Lil Wayne and stuff. I'm like, these dudes is crazy. They hella demonic. What the fuck? I started listening to Drake. I'm like, okay, maybe Drake is cool. I'm listening to him. I'm like, oh, this dude demonic too. So I'm like, all Kirk Franklin. So I was like, okay, cool. I can chill Kirk Franklin, silver and gold, all that. So then I'm like, I start seeing other things. I'm like, nah, this gospel music ain't right either. It ain't doing it. Next thing you know, I come across Tribe of Judah songs. I'm like, oh, this is, yeah. I don't even know how I came across them. Next thing you know, bro, it just lit a floodgate. Because you know how YouTube is. You watch one thing and boom, floodgate. And Yark pulled up to the scene. I'm like, oh, man, listen to Yark. Fred and the Genius are higher, bro. He came, bro. I was like, yes. It seemed like I was just finding artists. And because music was big to me. So when I started finding artists, bro, down, of course, Paisley the Hebrew, I'm like, babe, we got Yo Gotti. We got everybody. We got everybody. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, and they colder than them. You know, they speaking they encouraging. Because right now, my whole life is the Bible and work. Bible and work. I'm finding books, bro. Like, I've never been a bookworm. I'm looking at the book of Adam and Eve. I'm looking at Enoch, every Enoch there is. And on the Sabbath, I'm going straight through the Holy Bible. But on break, I'm reading all the extra Bibles. I'm reading everything I can read. I'm reading Ezra. I'm reading everything. Not understanding everything at the point, but every time I would see the word commandments or law, I would get so excited. Because I was so excited to know that there was a specific way God wanted to be worshipped, or how you could prove to him you loved him. And it wasn't just based off of whatever you think, because that would be a gamble. But there's a specific way to prove to him you love him and how he wants to be worshipped. So that right there gave me life. And it still gives me life today. You know what I mean? And that's how it happened for me. But you go ahead. I turn me up. Now I'm hot.
All praises.
Okay. Yeah, all praises to the Most High. Yeah, my stepdad already knew the truth from what he told me years before. And he told my mom, and she was just now waking up to it. Like he was telling us, like, I've been telling y'all not listening. After I was telling them, hey, I found God. I'm going to be righteous now. Like, I didn't know the word righteous, but I was basically like, I'm staying in the house. I'm taking care of my children. I want to be a better mom. I don't really care about no relationship. I want to be celibate. So when he came back the first time trying to be all, like I cried to him and we kissed. But when he was like, he want to be intimate, I was like, no, like I'm celibate. Like God want me to be celibate. I feel weird kissing you. He kept trying to grab me. He like, yeah, I already knew that was on L's. We cool, whatever. I'm going to be here for a few more days. You want to see me? You know, hit me up. And I was just already like, look, I done let my creator down so many times. Nope, I'm going to keep my word. God help me. I cried a lot. You know, a lot of times crying and asking God which way to go. Asking the Most High which way to go. And that's when my stepdad started telling me about the truth. I was actually really staying with my parents. And the Bible, I remember when I finally opened the Bible, I was like, whoa, it was like freaking all type of stories in there. What the heck is going on? I thought this was supposed to be like all sweet, bubbly book, but it's a lot of stuff in there. And when they told me about the Shabbat, they kept saying, we got to keep the Sabbath. We ain't supposed to cook on it. I want to try next week. It started irritating me. Like, what the heck is the Sabbath? Can you tell me what the Sabbath is? My mom was like, I'm going to send it to you. Because she was already on some, we can't eat crab, lobster, pork, shrimp, all that. So she wasn't feeding that to me. She was feeding me. So when she sent me that video, of course, I sent it to him because my heart was still for him. Like, I had a broken heart. I was trying to fix it by running around in the streets, but I really only wanted him. So I wanted him to wake up, but he was just like kind of shunning me off, like, girl, bye, like barely text me back, you know. But when he listened to me about the Most High, telling him everything was in vain, and I went and looked at his IG, his Insta, and all the stuff was really deleted, and he really deleted his Twitter, I felt like we was getting somewhere. Then he was like, I'm coming back, you know, but we had talked about really being with each other. And but he found Matthew about if a woman was already, I think it was Matthew 6, I don't know now, 19 maybe. If a woman has already been married, Salakia, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but if a woman's already been married, you can't take her or something. So he went to my stepdad for counsel on it, because my stepdad already knew the truth. He like, yeah, look up Hebrew Israelites online. So I started looking them up. I'm finding men yelling. I'm like, yeah, that's how you supposed to be talking to me. I'm supposed to have on a skirt. Like, you supposed to be a man. Look, they said it was going to be prophets on the corners. Like, I think you got to go on the corner. I'm just like going with everything.
Yeah,
I'm like,
looking.
blown
She sent him in the video. Now at this point, I'm reading. I'm thinking church is over. I ain't think there's no congregation. I ain't think nobody was. I ain't know nothing about no Hebrew Israelites. None of that. So she sent me the videos, and they yelling on the street. I'm like, yeah, and they garments. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that, but I'm gonna keep reading this Bible though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically how it happened. We started talking about courting after they went through him and my stepdad that we really not. I really wasn't married in the world. It was like that was my old person, like my old me, my spiritual man, a woman that died, and the Most High have risen me righteous and clean, and we would just have to do it the right way. So we courted for like a year, celibate with each other.
Yeah.
And like every Shabbat, he stayed at my mom's house. We slept separate and we studied. And he was the one, like he said, he found the music. He was giving me the music. He was training me for real. Like, hey, look at these scriptures one at a time. He was like, tell me what you think that means. Tell me what you think that means to every scripture. And my family actually found a congregation they're still with. And I wanted to go, for one of the feasts because I knew about the feasts. I felt weird not keeping them. And I was studying Hebrew, by myself in the Bible. He was moving faster. And Monte was just like, no, I don't want to get led astray by nobody. Mm-hmm. Let me read the whole Bible first, then I'll go. He ended up going, and we ended up getting married. We consummated. He moved in with my mom, and we was going to live in community living. And we had like a whole agreement, everything. It was good, at first. I'm trying to summarize it up. We stayed at that congregation. We fellowshiped for a while. That's why I really learned submission, humility, and not trying to be diminutive over him or boss him around. But we just set for a season. The Most High came and showed us like that season was up. It was time for something else. So when it came to us being on YouTube, I brought it to him like, you teaching us on the Shabbat. I feel like the Most High wants you to do this on YouTube. And this was 2018, late 2018. And
at this point, I'm done with social media. I'm not ever getting on that thing again. What you talking about?
And I was done too.
Yeah, we was done with that. We was like, trying to be in a cardboard box.
Really?
I was trying to get some chickens in the farm for real. And she like, yeah, get on YouTube. I'm like, man, I don't really want to do that. And she's like, you should, blah, blah. God said do it. I'm like, oh, God said do it. Let's do it then.
I felt it though. And I prayed and I wanted to know which way to go because I was trying to make sure I wasn't being led astray either with different doctrines because there was a lot of different winds of doctrines coming. And I really wanted to submit to him. My prayers became, let my desire be to my husband because that was the first thing that you told Eve. Like that's what you said. Her desire will be to her husband. So can you please let my desire be to my husband? Can you please help me be submissive? Because I'm not, and I got a problem with anger and submission. So how can I overcome this? And the Most High showed up and he was like, all right, you want to be submissive? Boom. He helped me. It was harder than I thought, but he turned it into something beautiful because Monte was like, well, if we on YouTube, it's only going to be to bring awareness because I don't know what this is either. I'm learning too. I'm not a teacher. I don't know this stuff. I'm trying to teach y'all. And by that time I was already really into submission. And so I was really like, hey, I'm down for you, Monte, whoever I got to let go, whatever I got to let go. I don't care what it is because I'm supposed to be submitted to you and I'm supposed to leave my parents and cleave to you. So I think we should move out on our own. He like down with it, but give me some time. Let me pray about it. And we moved into our own spot for about a year in Missouri. And then this past year, earlier this year, we moved here. And that's how we got to where we at right now, where we kept staying in the word. We had to isolate ourselves a lot and really like not take heat, like ignore the fiery darts, the scoffing, the backbiting, the persecutions, people telling me, you giving everything to him. What if he switch up on you? And what I always say, Monte, even in the world, through hardships, everything, no matter, it was nothing that could keep us from each other, you know? So at least let me try this on the righteous hand, you know, we really have, I'm not kidding, like from the bottom of my heart, a blessed relationship, you know, like honest and genuine, like between one another, because we came in this truth, we admitted everything we did to each other. Because in case people try to come tear us apart, let's already know what we did. You know, we was honest, and then I found it in James, admit your faults one to another.
Because I didn't want to do it.
He didn't want to do it, but I felt it was imperative in order for us to have a healthy relationship. Let's clean, let's forgive each other, and let's start fresh. Let's build a foundation. Let's promise each other that we ain't gonna break each other. We ain't gonna leave each other, and that was a part of our marital agreement, our ketubah, our marital agreement. Before we even, you know, my stepdad gave me over to him. And he has not led me astray, because the agreement was he's getting me to Shemayim. He's getting me to heaven. He's leading me to the kingdom. You know, ain't no, oh, we just cute for the cameras. No, like I get rebuked, I get corrected, and I love it, because this is somebody that really cares about my life, my soul, not just flesh. This is flesh that done labor with me, done prayed with me, you know what I mean? I'm being seen the ugly when I was overweight, when I'm super skinny, now I'm trying to manage it, never left me. Had money, didn't have money, he never left me. He had money, he was super broke, I never left him. So all praises to the Most High. I feel like he deserves to be glorified, you know, and I want whoever is watching to know, like, everything we said is not to glorify us, because we are mere humans. Mere breaths, like
that's right.
We cannot worship the creator more than the the creation more than the creator. Right. You know, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob created us, and he's worthy to be praised. And if he could take us from straight abomination, you know, filth, disgusting, just ill, yucky, wickedness, then I know he could do that for anybody. Right. This is really a word of encouragement. Whoever, wherever you are, for real, from the bottom of my heart, seek him. He said, seek, the door will be open.
That's right.
Sure.
I just want to say the last few things, unless you want to take over. Yeah, you know, like she said, we got married, you know, eventually. It really was bothering me at first when I seen that whoever takes a woman that was once married is an adulterer.
Yeah.
So I was really hesitant to do it. I came into it and I'm like, I'm going to be single for the rest of my life. I done had enough sex. I'm done doing that type of stuff. It got to a point I wasn't even, you know, excited down there or nothing, because I was so immersed in the word. But then, you know, eventually we did get married, recorded. And, you know what I mean? I think you asked me if there was like pushback when we first found the truth. But now you know that we didn't come into it as, you know, we wasn't married one day, seen a video and woke up together. It was like, you know, in the beginning of the relationship, as we were talking about in that spiritual conversation or that power conversation, there was times where there was lots of arguments, you know what I mean, in the very, very beginning, because we had to change, and we knew each other by the flesh. So now it's like, you know, Satan comes in, you know, and that demon, probably Osmodeus, was coming, and he was making it where I didn't even want to dwell with her at times, where I was asking, could I give her back? Like, can I return her to her stepdad? Like, this ain't what I bargained for, you know what I'm saying? We actually, I was done with smoking, and we introduced me back to smoking, because we hadn't found anything that specifically said it was wrong. But as soon as I seen her smoke again, something told me, like, nah, smoking is wrong. It got to be. Because as soon as I seen her how we used to smoke, well, now I would do it just once in a while, whatever, and try to fellowship with my brother. Like, so if I'm chilling with my brother, I'm trying to bring him into the truth, and he want to hit the pipe or whatever, you know what I mean, I'll hit it, but I wouldn't let it overconsume me. But as soon as I seen her smoking, I started seeing it overconsume her, and that being her direction, and she caring about that, it started making me like, yeah, this is wrong. So then I start looking into it. And then I'll start seeing that people were saying it could be witchcraft, it could be sorcery, it could be this, it harms the temple, and all that. Now, at the time, I'm still kind of torn, because I wanted to, but I don't want her to do it, because I don't like the way she looked doing it. So then at that point, you know, I'm like, we got to stop. And eventually the Holy Spirit convinced her to finally stop. And we stopped, and we gave it up, and we never picked it up again.
That was an early backslide.
Right, early backsliding. There was times I actually did break the Sabbath because I was angry on the actually high holy day because I had gotten to a place of wrath. You know what I mean? But now, after all that, those stumbling and the stumbling blocks, we done
Mm-hmm.
got to the point where the house is so blessed where it's like constant rebuke or constant correction for everybody to stay on the right path. We got a 10-year-old and a 9-year-old, and if I'll give you an example. If my I ask my daughter, hey, did you wash all the dishes? She'd be like, yeah, I washed all the dishes, Daddy. Can I go do this? And my son will walk through, he'd be like, Matthew, repent for the kingdom of heaven is hand. Repent for the kingdom of heaven is at hand because you got a dish on the sink right here, and she'll come in. And so this is how we operating like that. Like somebody be like, "I'm sorry," like my daughter say, "Hey, I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that to you," and he'll be like, Matthew 3:8, bring
Mm-hmm.
forth fruit meet for repentance. Then, so we operating in this type of level where it's just like it's all about the Most High, and the Most High is governing each person's step. Where and the thing about marrying her, how I knew I would go through with the marriage with her, is that I knew that she was submitted to the Most High, and she knew that I knew that she knew that the Most High will always be watching her. So she wouldn't have to answer to me. She wouldn't be doing good because of me. She doing good because the Father. So she doing good because the Father. I could trust that. I can rock with that. We can make it through whatever. If God is holding both of us accountable, I ain't never got to worry about you stepping out. I ain't got to worry about none of that. And on top of that, another freedom and bondage that was broken was I ain't got to hide phones no more. I ain't got to tell secrets. We don't have to lie no more. Bro, living this righteous life or living the guidelines the Most High set out, literally you can create a heavenly realm around you. And because this how it's gonna be in heaven. Ain't gonna be no liars in heaven. So we ain't gotta lie one to another. Ain't gonna be no debauchery in heaven. So we practice it now. It's the same thing from when we walk through them gates. And you know, and that's what brothers and sisters need to know. If the person you courting is all about the Most High and don't want to vex the Most High, then they can never vex you. And that's why those two everything hangs on those two commandments. You love God with all your heart, mind, and soul. You're gonna automatically love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
And so all those sins we talked about, all that wickedness was all dropped off just by rocking with the Most High,
It's
man.
white as snow.
Yeah,
Praise the
all
Most
praise to the
High.
Most High.
Yeah.
Praises. Come, beautiful,
Yes, sir.
powerful. Man, I done went through the valleys with y'all, listening to y'all. I done hit the mountaintops. You know what I'm saying? I was there with y'all. Like, man, I'm on a roller coaster. You know what I'm saying? So listen, anybody got any questions, comments, or concerns about today's testimony, the journey to the truth, with my brother Monte Nimmo, my sister Amber Amina, submit those questions or the comments now. Thank you. I want to thank y'all sincerely, man, for opening up to the nation. Those who are astute tonight, or who will come along to hear, the testimony. We didn't pass the 3 hour mark, 3.5 hour mark, as a matter of fact. And brothers still been, sisters, the family been consistent to listen. You know what I mean? 21, 28, 32, 36, on up to like 38 people watching. And those who are tuned in, hit the like button, because the stories can minister, even if it don't touch you, it might touch the next soul. You know what I mean? Brothers need to hear this. Sisters need to hear this. Couples and those who may be going through courtship, they need to hear this. Married couples right now still need to hear this. All right. So and I praise the Most High for drawing y'all out of the world. Uh keeping y'all, through the thing that y'all had been through, the car wreck, you could have got smashed by 18 wheeler. The sister in the car, dude, and pulled the gun, while she in the car with her uncle. We could have never been having this conversation. But the Most High been merciful. He's counted worthy and glorious and honorable to receive all the praise. And that's what we're here for, to return it back to him. And I thank y'all, what I mean, for being willing vessels, to take, what I mean, the responsibility to share y'all story to give it back to the Father. Thank y'all.
Most
Yes,
High.
sir.
Thank you.
Concur.
That's
All
on.
right, thank
Thank you and
you. Hey,
bless you.
Yeah.
concur. All right, so any questions, comments, family, before we close out? Shalom, Panana, Humble Bro 1, I praise Elohim, Judah the Lion, Saniqua Hopkins Ellis, everybody who tuned in, Wesley Green, we got Jesse Millen, Prayer Warrior, Nisia Maris, we spoke about you earlier, sir. Everybody who tuned in, it's 10:36 my way, but I think it's 11:36 y'all's way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, Yesai Judah. All right, so if y'all can't think of anything in the meanwhile, you want to come on, share your story, your testimony, your journey to the truth. Send your information to children of the prophets 144 at gmail.com. And if they want to keep up with y'all too, how can they get in contact with y'all? I know y'all got channels too, YouTube channel, Facebook. I'm not sure about the Instagram, but how can they get in contact with y'all?
On Facebook, you can just type in Monte Nimmo. We only
Mhm.
got one Facebook page, but everything is the Most High related. Um, and then so you can catch us on there. I'll post YouTube links for hers, mine's. So we got a cooking channel. It's called Let's Make It Kosher. We got, and that's YouTube. We got the YouTube channel. Our main YouTube channel is Newborns. So you can type in www.newborns. No,
YouTube.com.
yeah, www.youtube.com/newborns. Oh, well, /C as in channel /newborns. It'll take you right there. Or you can click on the comment I left in there, get to the page. I'll probably also comment after this because the thing is when you type in newborns in the YouTube search, of course, baby's going to come up. But you can type in youtube.com/C as in channel /newborns. And that's with an S, of course. And then we got Amber's channel, which is for the women, is Amber Amina. So, of course, her channel is all about how it is to live in a day in the life, or with as a Hebrew woman or repentant change Israelite.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much, she also has homeschool stuff on there, just all feminine stuff for the most part, testimonies, day in the life videos, basically how we operate in Babylon or the world without being in the world.
Yeah, and the only real way to get in contact with me is through him.
Yeah.
Just out of submission and make sure I stay in order. He reads everything I read, and that's just how we roll. So we just have the one Facebook.
Yeah. So Facebook on Messenger, you can message me if you got a question for her or want to say something to her. I'll filter it and then let her know. And then praise the Most High.
Praise the Most High. Con. Well, again, man, sincerely, the water, for y'all's time, out of y'all schedule, bless y'all, the household, the children, all that y'all put y'all hands to. I pray the Most High continue to keep y'all, spare y'all, and then more work be done through y'all. Continue to be a light in the earth, even in these last days.
Yes, sir.
Bless you and thank you to you as well.
Yeah, all that return right back to you too.
Yes.
Oh man, thank you. All right then, family. Hey, shalom.
Shalom.
Con.